Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing good. We had a great day on stream yesterday, and if you marked out those levels where we said there was a buyer trapped and waited for them to become untrapped yesterday, well, then you caught a monster long all the way back, a monster long. All you had to do is wait for those levels to come in, be patient, let them come in. We almost hit previous week point of control, but once we got up and through, up and away we went. All right, so into the daily. Let's go through our prep work like always. I'm actually going to look at the weekly quickly. You can see yesterday we came right back and we tagged the 5-week and the lower Bollinger Band. We're opening up right at previous week's close price right now, just underneath. All right, so we're inside previous week. Daily, we are inside previous day. This is to be expected right now, given the size of the range. I don't know why this yellow line won't delete. It's very annoying. Given the size of the range, right? So we're inside previous week. There's your previous week. And if you go down to the Monday, right, there's your previous week. We're inside previous day. All right, we're inside the body of the previous day. And we failed to break out so far of the high. All right, so we're building out this liquidity right here. All right, so the question is, can bulls hold for this rotation in here? Right, can they hold in here? Do we see failures underneath, or do we see bulls take control? All right, those are the three questions we're asking today while we build out. I think we'll probably just have a big build out day. I think this is going to be a rather violent large range personally, but we're going to find out. Coming down to here into the hourlies. All right, so we're looking at previous day and previous week value. All right, previous week value, we created a node up here, then we were thin, then two nodes. Yesterday, we lost the bid of all of this, all right, from previous week and from the current week. All right, so we gapped down, we stayed heavy, and we sold down towards this node, all right, where it was fair value from the previous week. Once we hit that node and once we reclaimed here, 940s, all right, which is where a big buy was stuck, you can see in the previous week we're very thin, all right, if we just think about this, we're very thin above 940s up to 2950s and then all the way up to where we started. All right, so there's the break, 940s, 2950s, held the pullback and all the way back inside this range. So we are starting out pretty much exactly the same as we did yesterday now. The question now is, do we need to repair anything? Well, this up here was a weak high. All right, why do I say that? It was a flat top. We don't have a big wick. We have no excess. If you remember, there was an 800 lot seller set up there who never really got filled. I think it was about 200 lots of him got filled. So we're aware of this being a weak high. There's not, the excess down here is okay. There's no excess on ES down there. That's something we need to be aware of, and the divergence. So we are watching this range start to build out here now. We've made the range a bit bigger. This is now our range. Okay, so if dips hold into previous day value area high, previous day close, and probably all the way down to sort of 100s and sub 100s, if dips hold this or a little below and fail and reclaim, we're coming back into this range. Same for the upside. All right, if we come upside, we fail the highs, we're coming back down into the range. If we poke above, create excess and fail, we're coming back down into the range. This is certainly your range. All right, it was smaller, it was up here, but we are starting to thicken this out. So I would consider everything down to sort of even overnight low, really 29,050, but certainly down into the 100s, 155s. This is our range right now. Do not get stuck in the range. All right, if we stay heavy, then we can think about rotations, certain outside of rotations, and certainly a move lower. If we hold dips, then we're trading back inside. If we stay outside of this, then we can think about expansion. But otherwise, if we fail this, back down inside. This is a giant range. Be very, very careful. I've warned you. I've told you why. All right, we're trading inside, lots of action here. Overnight, what do? We drift higher, but we fail to break out and make a new high. All right, so Globex, Asia held the dips, drive higher. London got involved, drived higher, failed to make a new high here. Remember, we have a weak high here and came right back down inside. All right, so we've cleared out all these stops and we are trading inside this right now. and it matters where we are right now. Even this level here, 225, 230, somewhere around that, it matters. They all matter right now. We're just going to have to play level to level, level to level. And again, inflation came in very hot, as we expect right now. All right, very, very hot print. There it is. There's your hot inflation print. All right, so we have, you can mark out that PPI high up there as well if you want 360. It's right into an old box as well. Right, let's go through ES and we'll start to talk about these divergences, which are really starting to play out because it's chips that have found a bid. All right, we don't have excess at the low down here on ES. This is an awful low. This is the same as the high on NQ. This is a poor low without excess, which means normally we'd think about repairing that. It didn't repair it yesterday. All we did is break away from it. So there we go. If you were trading ES, you probably got very, very upset that we didn't create excess down there. We are still inside the same range. If we think about this on ES, all we're doing really, we failed the high, we failed to break these lows, we failed to make excess, and we're doing a giant dance in here, aren't we? So nothing's really changed. I would say this will probably be weaker, I would imagine, than the Qs if the chips find a bid. All right, so we are starting to find a bid on chips again on the SOXL. We come down to the spiders. All right, we were gapping up on the spiders. We closed the gap pre-market. We're now back above, and you can see these are the same levels. All right, you've got a double top high here, which needs to be repaired just like the lows. All right, here is our box. There's our box. We are in positive gamma. All right, they can hold dips down to 735. If they do something nasty this morning, we'll see if they're willing to hold that or not. 735. Same story really for the Qs. All right, there's the gap up. All right, we're coming back down towards the gap. We haven't quite filled that gap yet. Big level down here for gamma is just underneath the VWAPs at 703. But I would imagine if we zoom out, they would want to hold above this, or ideally they would want to hold in here. So ideally 710 basically is the level. Ideally, if they can stay inside of 710, they can chop up here, which will create that kind of look there. If they don't have the power to hold 710s, then maybe a deeper roll and then a bid back up. If they can't hold the bid, then, you know, all hell breaks loose. We'll just have to see. It's going to be very awkward because they haven't repriced either side. Right, Dixie obviously starting to get going on the news from yesterday. All right, so it's starting to go upside. There's a pullback. It's still showing some strength here. Pretty dangerous. But if we zoom out on Dixie, it's actually just the midpoint of a giant range. There you go. It's right at the mid. So it's going to have to make a decision down here. Down here if the market gets going. Up here if we see weakness in the market. Gold getting going and crude still holding above that 100 mark. All right, and if it holds dips into 100 with that inflationary pressure, we can think about that breakout. Market will probably rotate. The hard thing is going to be, like we talked about, chip names having relative strength. All right. Lots of upgrades this morning in chip names, and Jensen flying to China now with Trump, because apparently that makes a difference. But there we go. Apparently in these markets it does. Okay, VIX opening up at 18s, so exactly the same as the day before, exactly the same as this week. Didn't quite get up to these 20s. We put in a new put wall here. We'll see if it finds support here for a drive or not, but kind of in no man's land. We go through the mag quickly. Lots of these neutral or gapping down. So Apple holding the bid here from last week inside its current week range. Relative strength, slight gap down here, but looks good. Looks good. 295 breaks what you're watching on Apple. Amazon opening up flat. It's a nice recovery yesterday from Amazon. Spike up pre-market, failed, down into yesterday's bid. Quarter bid, opening up flat. I mean, it is quite literally no man's land, isn't it? Right in the 50% of that range. I mean, it doesn't look good out here to start transacting this morning. Google, same kind of thing. Came up, couldn't create a new high. Opening up flat, inside the range, literally flat. Meta, this is really not making me want to trade, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. Meta caught a bid yesterday, all right? But still inside this range. It's got to come and reclaim this and get above 600s to have a shot. Otherwise, failing 600s, you're going to see weakness into the market. Microsoft, relative weakness, rolling over, starting to lose the bid. Nvidia, here will come the strength. There you go. There's a gap up, all right, because he's flying to China with Trump. All right, so there's the bake and shake, and there's the gap up. So if they hold dips above this range, 222s, even if they close the gaps, 220s, they're looking for bullish upside on Nvidia for a breakout. Tesla. So holding above those 420s. Remember the 420s are a big over-under. What did we come into early week? 420s, held the bid, came back towards it yesterday, held the bid. All right, but you are making lower highs here, but we are holding this 420 range. So if Tesla holds this, it will want more upside. 450 is its target. If it loses 420s, then we can think about a rotation underneath. Right, let's have a look at a couple of the broader names. Now, this is the thing that matters here. It's the SOXL. All right, so yesterday we got that huge sell from this trap liquidity up here. There's the big sell, lost 165, protected 150. We talked about this on stream. Reclaim 165, we're gapping up pre-market. What happens up here becomes key. All right, remember, these are all your chip names. A lot of these are finding bids because they had upgrades again this morning. So INTC, upgrade this morning. Still though, if we think about it, still not through this supply. All right, so nice pullback, but it's got to get inside of here and hold it. Otherwise, it can come right back down again. MU. That looks more primed for a breakout right now. AMD. That's a good hold, and it's inside the range. All right, that looks strong. There's your reprice. There's your hold of the old breakout. Look, RBS, wash, SBR, 2 RBS, back inside range. All right, so it's going to require some patience today because I think we're going to have quite a lot of divergence through a lot of these names. If we look at some of the broader names, like your IRENs, coming back in after a pre-market shove, IONQ coming back in after a pre-market shove, MBTS coming right back in, had a big day, and then the news dropped yesterday that the deal wasn't done and caught a bid again pre-market. I mean, this is how these names move. You have to be aware of that. So we'll see. A lot of it is going to really is dependent on chips, because outside of that, it looks pretty brutal out here. All right. Outside of that, it doesn't look good in terms of inflation, in terms of what's really going on in the world. But apparently we ignore all of that for tech nowadays. So we will see, folks, won't we? We will see. I will be waiting for some retests of key levels. All right. I would really like to see how we act here. All right. How we act here. All right. How we act here, and how we act here. All right, so are we going to hold this? Is there a look below and fail for that drive up? Do we hold this level, and are we just going to go ping pong, which means Alex won't be interested at all? When we come up here, do we do a fail break and a trade back inside, or do we come up here and hold and base for a continued leg? All right, so I'm going to be waiting to see what happens at the extremes. I really don't want to get involved in here. But really, we're opening up exactly the same levels yesterday. So there is a chance they attempt to squeeze here and get the door slammed on their face, because everyone will probably be quite bullish off the chip name news. And you just wonder if this is a rinse repeat, and, you know, if someone's stuck. But we'll see. The Owlies is what I'm watching. And right now, opening up inside current week's value, it doesn't fill me with confidence right now to do a whole lot, if I'm honest. So I will be Mr. Patient today. Make sure I've got everything on here. 33s. All right, market opening up here in 20 seconds, folks. Let's see. All I really care about is what these chip names do at the open. Do we see exhaustion? And that's the door slammed in their face. Here we go. All right, right into that first grey box, interview up. Chips having the door closed on their face there at 85. Sorry, yeah, at 85. Back down to VWAP. Give you an early readout on the mag. Tesla up 1%, Nvidia up 2%, rest of the mag down. All right, Microsoft 1.32% down, Meta 0.67% down, Google 0.41% down, Amazon 0.75% down, Apple 0.11% down. PPI missed by a long way. Yeah, inflation came in hot. I mean, month over month, quarter over quarter, it's heating up out there. It's tough right now on Americans. It is tough right now on Americans. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We've said this for a long time. All right, into this grey box right now while they make a decision here. That's a failure so far on the chips to recover 85. New York high put in here. If they start to fail this, they probably come right down for the gap fill. So it's possible, but it's so ugly out here, folks, at the moment. I'm trying to be patient. So we're repairing a low there. Into the 180s now on the chips. A big rejection of the 185s. Do pops start to fail for them to repair here all the way down to gap fill is the question. ES very weak, new low of day coming. So we'll see here. I guess if we start to fail 60s, we can think about the move for the gap fill. This is a rinse repeat of yesterday so far. If they start to recover this grey box, then we go back inside. Down here is where I'd be covering if we pop and fail, and they're just not going to do. They're just going to do one-way moves again off the open, are they? A bit like yesterday. So chips into that 80 level. VIX starting to really shove up at 1826s. ES coming down into low of day. So we want to see if this starts to fail into 60s. If it does, I'll consider taking a short here if we see bulls get caught here off the open. If we recover 60s, we're going to go screaming straight back up. All right. We're doing ping pong on the SOXL here. So it's gone from 85 to 80, right back to 82.5. So dancing in the midpoint of the range. Seeing some failures up here early. I think we can reclaim this whole thing though if SOXL goes bonkers. That's the danger right now, I would say. Watching to see if we reject these 60s or if we reclaim it, because this is point of control on this current session. Trying to be extra patient here. Some rejection there, buyers coming back in again. Still nothing I like right now. We might follow through to the downside, but the fact that SOXL is holding on does not make me want to click a button right now, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. The divergence. Apple now gone red to green as well. So Tesla green, Nvidia green, Apple green, Amazon red, Google red, Meta red, Microsoft red. Broader names, AMD green, Oracle green. Just like scroll down on the rest of the watch list. IREN's gone green, MBTS has gone green. Kind of no man's land. NQ up 0.30 on the day, ES down 0.08 on the day, YM down 0.5% on the day, RTY down 0.17% on the day. Crude holding up 0.25%, Dixie up 0.25%, gold up 0.13%, silver up 2.5%, UNG up 2%, VIX up 1.5%. But you know what? NQ also up. So like we said, divergence at play due to those chips. We have to be aware of them right now. They are driving this whole market. Until they let go, we probably get some very choppy action, which is what I warned of last night. All right, so we're right into this high volume node here. If buyers keep stepping in here at 50s, they will try and complete the move for a break above 65 to come and get above this New York high and then trade right back inside this range up here to previous week value in this next grey box above. And still no trade for me. I'm going to be very, very, very patient today until I see clear momentum come in. All you have to do right now is look at the gamma and the ping pong on the show over here. This is the ping pong. Yep, stuck up here, stuck down here, in the middle. Until this makes a decision, I'm going to be extra patient. Okay, so I'm going to see failures up here in that high volume node. SOXL back down to the 180s again. If it starts to let go of that, we might get a wash here. So I will see if we reject 250 here. Please don't just go in one direction. It's the low day break, missed it. Won't come up for me. Okay, 180s letting go on SOXL. Here comes the retest of 180s. We'll see if we can pop up here for a failure. Or not. Or nothing. Okay, piece on. They wouldn't come up at all. I'm small size because they wouldn't come up. For the break, see if we can take this out now. Here's the 200. Take a piece off here and we'll see if we can get down into 171 for the gap fill and 162 for previous day value area high. I'm very, very small size. Already paid myself. And I'm very, very aware of SOXL. I will take it off for a break above 27s and add back on if it comes and tests 250s here to make that clear for you guys who say, you don't tell me what to do. Just told you. I'll take it off for a break above 27s and I'll add back on at 250 if it rejects up there. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in this small size. And it is small size. ES coming back down into its pivot. Might see a little reaction here. 5-day moving average on ES coming back down into those Globex lows. SOXL finding a bid on it towards its pre-market low. So no follow through right now. Big node here. This matters now. There's the 27s rejection. This is good. We need a new break lower now though, because we've got imbalances above. Come on. Come and fill the gap for fuck's sake. NQ, stop making my life hard. Here we go. Come on. Mr. Bid, go away. Let's come and fill this gap. Here we go, 200 break. Looking for a fill down to 70s now, folks. Beautiful. Oh my God, NQ. Can we just get on with it? Can we get on with it, please? Big sellers coming in here. Be very, very careful. You've had some huge lots come in here at 190 and 182s. I need to see this gap fill so I can take some off. More big selling coming in here. Be very, very careful. Do not be adding here. They are getting very aggressive without moving lower right now. Very aggressive. Mr. 400 lot seller came in there market side and we haven't moved lower. So be very careful. If he gets squeezed out, it'll be very nasty to the upside because he has really piled in. So we need a new low of day for him to be in the money. Oh my God, some of you asked the most weird questions. I'm not even going to look at chat. I've literally told you everything I'm doing, where my stop is, where I'm looking to cover. We need a pre-market low here on SOXL, otherwise we'll take this off. There you go. Those sellers just got caught. I will take this off now if we recover 12s here, which is value area low, which we're about to come into. So I'll take it off in the money. Wiggle at value area low. It's a good rejection of value area low. It is a wiggle up there. Nice rejection of value area low. Very good. Right, we would really like to just fill this gap. All right, I'm looking for the gap fill at 68 and 62s. I will tell you now though, sellers at 189, 184 and 180 have been very aggressive without moving price lower. So my stop's in at value area low, just above here at the 12s. All right, and if that gets taken out, no, take me out in the money, that's fine. Can always add back in. I'm not going to get aggressive down here. Here we go, takes me out. I think we might see the Alex trade here, which would be funny. Yep. Here it comes. Here comes the Alex trade. I can take this copier off now. I've made my money for payout today. There we go. Okay, back upside we go. So like I said, those sellers got caught down there. There's huge sellers down there getting caught. You can see right here. All I wanted was a gap fill and a move into here. We didn't get it. So we're going to lift right up to this next shelf at 54s. That's why we have to be very careful. ES did everything we wanted. All right, ES swept Globex low. It's got a high volume node for Gamma down at 7405 right now. Much weaker down over there on ES, right? ES 0.15% down. NQ coming up, well, over 0.25% up. All right, why? Chips. Why do we watch chips? That's why. They failed to take out their pre-market low. They've already recovered the 180s on SOXL, so it hit 176s. It's right up at 181s now, coming into VWAP. And if it breaks VWAP, it's going to go back for the 85 breaks. That's why we have to be aware of how we're moving and what we're moving. Big whale under the low. Well, someone was certainly absorbing the tape there, yes, at 190 and 180s, yeah. I mean, even if we look at Bookmap, it's like what we talked about yesterday, isn't it? Where is OBS? So I can get you onto that. All right, down here, you see this guy, 407 lot. And they kept repeatedly selling. Look at all these guys stacking up, holding the bid. And we've moved right back up to this pivot, right, at 260. Now, if we break this pivot, they will try and revisit high of the session, the New York Open and the high here, because they've done a lot of work absorbing down here. But I just think this market is going to rotate and rotate and rotate. And if you don't see money take money and you're impatient in this market, I think you're going to get punished. All you have to do right now is zoom out on your hourly chart, and it's telling you the story, isn't it? It's telling you the story. So rejecting the node up here, we'll probably come and test 10s and 12s again and see if it keeps those sellers stuck. So value area low. Obviously, I'm out right now. And this is the divergence at play. This is going to make it very, very hard to trade effectively today. So you're going to need to be in a see money, take money environment. Look at the difference between my day today and my day yesterday so far. Okay, very, very different. All right, about 0 and 50% short of where I was at already yesterday. Patience, my friends, patience. All right, ES is rejecting New York VWAP. SOXL's back at the 180s. Did reject its VWAP, but it's just back at the 180s. Don't have a whole lot of momentum here. Like I always say, remember, make sure you are zooming out. All right, what's happening on the hourlies right now? Where are we? Where are we versus current week and previous week range? All right. Yesterday we played the rejection of this level because it was our first time gapping down and under. So yesterday we had these guys trapped and we played this. Once they recovered this zone, they traded through the thin liquidity and have gone back into the range. Right now we're at the edge of this range. It is a decision point, but the thing is, because they've now extended this range, they can hold dips here for fail breaks. So we have to be very careful. This is not our first attempt breaking lower like it was yesterday. This can be a huge look below and fail into fair value, and a bid up can also be sold back into. So we have to be very, very careful right now. The easier plays, honestly, are going to come at the extremes of this so that we can see what the momentum is. Like, is there a bid here? Is there a sell back in here, or is there a continuation, or is there a continuation? Those are going to be the easier trades today, I would say, which means you're going to have to be a bit better at sitting in your hands. So remember, sellers this morning are stuck at 89 and under. All right, if buyers keep defending that, it keeps them stuck. So we're probably going to come and test them here. Here's the move into 89. Remember, there's a 400 lot seller down there who is currently caught. Here he is. And if he gets let out, we will get that gap fill. Still caught right now. They're bidding 75s there. He's out. He's in the money now. So here comes the gap fill. Unfortunately, not in this because it didn't do it first time round. So gap now filled. Previous day value area high now tag. That was my original cover when we were short for this first move. If we get acceptance under this, you're going to go grey box. All right, and that's where we get thick. That's the edge of where we get thick. More strong selling coming in here. Very, very heavy selling down here under 190. They just sold 170. Very, very heavy. Here comes the break. All right, into the top of the grey box. Is there a way of getting involved here is the question. They're looking to resell 175. I'd like to get involved somehow here. What's going on here in NinjaTrader? There we go. So absorption into top of grey box, holding previous day value area high. Remember, this can be a look in and a fail. If we get acceptance inside value, we can come right back down into here. So it's a very, very tricky moment here. Stock still coming down for pre-market low, breaking pre-market low now. Right, so we're going to watch to see if there's follow through, 160 to 200 if they're willing to sell it. If they're willing to sell it. If they're not willing to sell it, be a look below and fail. And I tell you what, ES is coming into that 7405, big high volume node. These are big, big levels now. So do pop-ups get sold into. More strong selling at these lows at 135. Huge selling down here without moving lower. They think we're going to get a break. They're very aggressive on this tape this morning. Still not in anything here. It's moved very, very quickly from this rejection. It's going to require a huge amount of patience here. Not chasing this. Even if it breaks lower, I cannot chase this. It's too risky. They are piling in. ES into that node. So if you got the short on ES, which has been much cleaner, you want to be paying yourself here into 405. And then you can look for 395s. These sellers are piling in right now. It's very, very, very aggressive. It's all just market side dump it. And we are right into current week value area low here. And we're starting to rotate yesterday's range. Now, if we lose this grey box, this will be the target, 900. I will not be in this. It would be very upsetting after our first position. 29,000, sorry, and then all the way down here into 880. You've got to be covering some. If you are in this from up here, you've got to be covering some here, here, and here, and then down here if you get very, very lucky. But here, here, and here are the levels. Well, we were in it, and chips had to ruin it for me. There we go. It happens. It happens. Look at that. Just no move up since so 200 straight move down there. All right. The SOXL about to fill its gap, so we might get a lift here. And we're going to have to watch all these areas where they aggressively sold, which are 18s, 34s, 160s, 190s. So I'm more interested 160s, 190s if we come up there and sell it. Lots of you got it. Oh, well done, guys. Well done. Happy. That's awesome work. Right, bottom of the grey box. I'm watching to see if we can lift up here. And if we sell it. All right, so I'm going to need to see a lift up here. I'm going to need to see buyers get stuck for me to do this move here. All right, if I don't see buyers stuck and they just reclaim, there won't be a play because we'll come straight back upside. Remember, this is the edge. This is value area low on the current week. And ES came right under 7405 and found a bid. All right, so we're watching here to see if there's a rejection up here. SOXL almost filled its gap, didn't quite, might have a bit more to go here. If there's no rejection here, there'd be no sell. I want to make that clear. If there's no rejection up here, there will be no sell. We're starting to see some buyers get caught into those 50s and 60s. They might need another little attempt higher here before I'm interested. Right back into these imbalances. Oh, please let me in. Come back up. Please. That was so quick. I want to see it come back up. Please, 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 please. It's moving so fast today. There was the pop to sell. It was, but the excess was put on there, all right, from 949.55 .45. I had 1 second. Under 1 second to get involved in that. Okay, they're protecting these sellers at the lows, so we'll see. I still want to see us build a bit more liquidity here. So it's still not quite filled the gap. Very, very close. ES starting to reclaim and hold now, which puts me off this move. So we're watching previous day value area high, and probably up to 80s, where those large sellers last got involved. If they reclaim that, this would be a hold of range. Remember, this is current week value, and we will rotate right the way back up. So previous day value area high matters here. Are we going to stay inside yesterday's value, or are we going to look for a bid outside yesterday's value? Why do we trade this asset, honestly? Why do we bother? It's mental. Okay, nice little rejection of previous day's value area high. I've got a slither on up there, right at previous day's value area high. Here we go. A slither. If they protect 34s, I will take it off because that's where a big seller last came in. There's a bid at 37. I'm watching 34s. And my stop's break even because I'm not going to get my face run over here if they trade through it. Here we go, I'm out. I'm not giving this room because if we trade through it after ES closing the gap, we can go rip rip. You've literally tagged me out to the tick, haven't you, you mother clucker? I want this to rip higher now to validate my stop. Please rip higher to validate my stop. Don't dump back down. Please rip higher to validate my stop. Okay, I feel good now. That's all right. That was a good stop. Here it goes. So back inside. No! Back inside previous day's value. If they hold the bid here, they're going to try and squeeze all the way back up. Like I said, it's a see money, take money environment right now. We are inside range. All right, we are inside range. SOXL closed the gap. There or thereabouts. I mean, it hit 73s. It needed to trade 72s, 50s, but it hit 73s. It's come right back upside. ES came under that 7405 we talked about, found a bid. If you're trading the spiders, you didn't quite get that 735 move, but it was there or thereabouts, and it's found a bid. And we're back above previous day's value now, so they can hold these bids and start walking back up here now. They've done a lot of work to protect that. This is where we sold very heavy. If we think about this, this is where we had that 400 lot come in, and we aggressively sold all the way down, and this is all sell side. And if we start to pivot above 88, then you're going to get an aggressive bid back up here. So we'll look to join this long if they're willing to hold on here versus value. If the next pullback starts to hold, I will consider the long because they've done a lot of work. Oh, great. We've got Ninja Trader just closed down. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? We won't have a long then, shall we? What's the bet this happens while Ninja Trader freezes on me? Can we get this back open? If this pullback holds value, you want to consider a long here. I'm telling you, if the pullback holds 180-ish down to 162-ish, you want to think about the long because it would be a failed look below. I can't get in it because I'm waiting for Ninja Trader to open. This is, fuck me, it's going to go. Oh, Ninja Trader! This is tilt. This is now tilt. I was ready for that. Oh my God. Open up, please. Oh, technology. Technology. Okay, it's open. Here we go. Can we get a bit more data, please, Ninja Trader? Damn it. Okay, here we go. So there we go. Got it back open. There's the reclaim of previous day value area high. There's all these sellers now stuck. There's the big buyers coming in. Every protection now of 63. Right, you're looking for this trade back up to 47s and 50s. So you got a 100-point move here, near enough. And if you get over this node, then I think we'll come up to previous week value area high. So that was the trade. See money, take money, but sellers caught underneath these lows now. So everything here, what was the level? 90s. Right? Ideally, you want buyers to protect 90s now. 90s here. Leave these sellers stuck. And then you can look for this move. I've missed the opportunity. It was there when I was talking about it. Frustrated. I'm going to have to just like calm my boots for a second. Chill your boots for a second. Okay, into these levels. It has to hold previous day value area high here. Previous day close. You want this to be protected by buyers now if you're looking for more upside into that node. ES rejecting its VWAP to make it extra hard. SOXL doing the same, coming back down to its pivot. It's very, very messy here, folks. I would be somewhat long biased here because we've traded underneath trap sellers and held. So if they're willing to hold this, if they're not willing to hold it, they've got to have a tight stop because they can flush here fast given the range on today. So you want to be sizing down today. Seeing money, taking money. And there's certainly sellers caught. Where's the next seller caught? 34. So I'd say the big sellers came at 60, 34s, 21s, and low of day. There's the good hold. Can they print back up here? There are buyers coming on the tape here, all the way down to 125, though, is the problem. They're not packing in tight here. Very, very tight while they figure out what they're doing. ES back to VWAP as well. If they start bidding ES, that will help a lot, I would say. We are stuck right at that opening range, right at your 15-minute opening range, right at previous day value area high. Everything very, very tight here. Here they go. Can we drive through back into the opening range? The problem is right now, the buyers are on the tape, but they're just packed all the way down to 137s. They're not stepping up like I talk about. They're just sat lower looking for a flush down to get caught. Yes, here they come. They're looking to protect 35, 37-ish. They're packed out from 55 to 37s. They're not walking up yet. It's getting very tight here. It's an interesting level. I would like to see that little flush and then a reclaim. That will give me some confidence. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Can go either way here if they lose the bid. I think bulls have got the incentive here if they keep these sellers stuck. They won't want to lose it much more than... I would say they won't want it under 30s. Under 30s, and they'll probably give up. I'd like to see a little flush down towards 35 and then an instant response back up. That will make me think, okay, bulls are interested. Here's the big sellers coming in. They're trying it. Here we come. So I want to see how we act here into 35s. Do bulls respond in this move back down? Yeah, there's some absorption there. Big seller still. All right, I'm in. Small piece. That's enough for me to see. Small piece in. Here we go. Ha ha! I see your games. All right. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, moving my stop up into the money. Let's see if we can get up to 50s. I'll pay myself a little bit because we are in a see money, take money environment. But I'll look to see if we can get up to 50s. My stop is already in the money. And we'll see. There's someone rebidding here at 88s. Come on. Don't be so pathetic. I don't want to just take a tiny piece and stop out again. You're going to make my life very hard. I've moved my stop to 65s so that you guys are aware. Stops at 65s. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh, kept me in by a point there. Leave me in. Leave me alone. Leave my stop alone. Up you go. Piss off. Oh, you motherfucker. Out again. I'll have one more attempt at this same trade if they absorb again. VPOC's moved down here now as well. We're trading a lot of volume here. So flat again. Oh my God, they've made this hard for me today. Buyers now stacking down 150 to 125. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to catch enough sellers here for the rip back up. It is what they are trying to do. But remember, if they fail, it means there's been a lot of absorption take place and not able to move price. And then you'll see it come back down. But I'll tell you again, the big areas where the sellers are caught, other than where we are now, are 135, 120, and then 180. So you'd want 135 really to hold. Again, I'm not in it now. I got stopped out. I've had one attempt at that trade. I missed the first one, didn't I? Because then just shut down. So back to these 150s. You are seeing absorption here for sure, but there's aggressive selling on the tape here. They're trying to get this flush to 25, 35, somewhere around there. Here they come. ES just dancing around its VWAP. If ES gets going, I think you get a rocket back up here, but it's a big if. Remember, ES already did this move down into the 29,000 equivalent right now. It came under and over. That's good absorption down there. What did we just hit? 43, not quite 35. I'm still interested. SOXL just doing a dance here, though. Doesn't look strong. Does not look strong. We've got 3 wicks on a 5-minute charts, but it's another big seller here at 170s. ES breaking out above VWAP. Man, the divergence is huge. So ES is above its VWAP. If they hold this next flush down, I'm interested. If they don't make a lower low here, if they start holding this flush down, I'm interested at value area low. I want to see Spire at 25 move up. That's what I'm looking for at the moment. Don't like that he sat down there at 25s. It's very tight here at VPOC. Still not in. I haven't seen enough yet. ES is starting to go. SOXL is not finding that bid yet. Still not in. Just being clear with you. I'm still not in. Still waiting. We go, we go. ES looks great. Feels close. We can wait for a break above. We can be safe and wait for a break above 180 and a hold, rather than trying to catch it. SPY into its VWAP as well. This is key. There's the 170, 180. My finger is on the button. My finger is on the button. SPY VWAP. Little wiggle here. Can we get above the 180? It's a big level here. If they can't get above it, they're going to flush back down to the other side of this like micro range. No, they can't get above it. So we're good for waiting there. SPY big rejection of VWAP. It's tight, 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 tight down here. It's very tight down here. Still this buy is at 125. Why are you at 25s though? That's such a shit level. It's like no man's land. SOXL's just stuck. It's not going anywhere. That's the big thing right now. Mag's starting to go green though. It's only Microsoft and Amazon left red now. They're going to have another attempt at these 180s. If we break through here, there's a chance to go, because this is like the third or fourth attempt. But if they get this door shut on them, we come right down. So I'm waiting to see if we break 180s for a trade back upside here, all the way up to 250s, if they can stop fanning around. Here we go. 180s. I need you to hold this move now, please. Here come the buyers. No follow through yet. Still not entry. I'm hoping that they can pop up here and hold 180s for me to get involved in. Still not above 180s on a hold. SPY into its VWAP again. It's looking for that VWAP break. Still, we're just chopping here. It's very, very tight here, folks. I don't want to trade in this. I'm looking for a relief above and the base above to get upside. Otherwise, if we front run this, we can get caught in a wash. So I'm waiting patiently here, because we are tight here from basically 86 to 40. It's a 40-point tight range here. And SOXL does not look good. It's the one thing. And just hands off. Hands off. Let this do what it needs to do. Give you a readout in the mag. Apple 0.18% up. Amazon 0.05% up. Google 1.36% up. Meta 0.75% up. Microsoft, the only weak one, 1.11% down. Nvidia 1.25% up. Tesla 0.59% up and pushing. Oracle 0.85% up. All right, but some of these chips did get hit. AMD 2.85% down, etc., etc. So you're seeing SOXL trade near its low of day, which is why I'm not pulling the trigger long right now, and it hasn't quite closed its gap. So I'm just trying to be patient. Why am I not thinking short? It's because of the area we're in. For me, this currently is discount on the current week. This is current week value area low. Now, if they flush this, there's an argument for it to come into these blocks. But at the moment, this morning, we've seen very strong selling all the way down here with an inability to break lower. So I know currently there's lots of sellers caught in here, right? If we come to here, you can see this, all this selling, this aggressive selling, all these 100 lots are all caught down here underneath, certainly at 34s and under. So if they can't find acceptance lower, those sellers will get squeezed out, but they probably don't get squeezed out until we base above this node here, until we base above 180. So I'm trying to be patient at the moment. I can show you my scorecard so you can see we've had a couple of goes at it. That's the old scorecard. You can see the lag between the leader and these two, which is ridiculous to be lagging that much, but there we go. All right, SOXL now filling its gap. So new low of day. So we did well to watch that and ignore price. So gap now filled on SOXL. Now, if they tank these chip names again, just check. We're coming into a pivot from after hours yesterday and yesterday's close. So they can find a bid here. If they lose the bid here on SOXL, we go flushy down to 165 and then NQ a break with it. But this is a big moment for this market. Are they willing to bid chips? What did we say? 20s, 35, 20s, and then 80. I mean, if we come under 20s, you'd expect them to break a low of day there, to be honest. Here's that push back up after filling that gap on SOXL. So this matters now. This matters now. They finally filled the gap here. And SPY still at its VWAP. So relative strength on the spiders, on the ES. Here we go back towards previous day value area high. If they reclaim this, they're going to have another go at the 170s, 180s again if they reclaim it. It's a big if right now, but that's what they're trying to do. So they're trying to reclaim, and if they go back above here, I'll look to get long again because those sellers are still caught. In fact, more sellers are now caught down at 130 and under. So if we break back above here, I will look to get long, making that clear. Back into value. Can we get just above VPOC? And I'll look to take the break. Here we go. Come on. Push up so I can get involved here. I'm still not in. And we need a 180 break and hold. Same levels before. So still rejecting VPOC here. I'm waiting for a 180 break and hold. Do not want to get trapped at that node. I'm waiting to get above this node and hold. Same as earlier. This looks better now, though. This looks better. Now we filled that gap, right? So if this turns around now, it looks good. If they lose this gap, though, we open right up. So that's why we've got to wait for a 180 break and a push. And I don't want to force my way against the market. I'm just trying to play the range, basically. I'm trying to play range recovery. Trying not to play trend because we're not in a trend right now. So I'm trying to play range, which is my least favorite thing, as we always talk about. We are holding value area low here for the session, though. It's another good absorption there into 130s. I just don't want to be early. I really don't want to be early. Bad day. Man, you're only 40 minutes into the day. Give it a chance. 40 minutes in. We're in a range. We expect choppiness in a range. We just have to wait. Let it build out. Don't be so impatient. 40 minutes is nothing. You've got hours and hours and hours ahead. I'm trying to find this bid now. We are just very, very tight here between 180, 190 and 35s. Just wait. What's the bet when they break 180? It goes to 245 without giving me an entry. What's the bet here? When we break this, that it goes straight scream up without giving an entry. All right, here's the 80s. This is the level that matters. All right, just waiting for like a nano pullback and hold because I don't want to get caught. Just a micro pullback and see buyers come in. Here comes the pullback. Can I see buyers come in? Not yet. Still not yet. Still not yet. Still not yet. Still not yet. All right, I'm in. Tight stop. Can I get my stop ninja? All right, let's give it a bit of a wiggle to VPOC. Some passive selling up here. They've got to hold this shelf. Some passive selling up here. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't gone. Maybe needs one more little dip down. Here it comes, right towards my stop. Try not to give it too much room. I don't want to get flushed out. It's a nice hold. What's ES doing? Looks good. SPY looks good. SOXL doesn't look good. All right, out of this again. Jesus Christ. You're going to hold it now, aren't you? You fuckwit. Here comes the little flag to go. What's the bet? I'm very, very tight with these stops because I don't want to get washed out. So I'm just not giving it room today. It had the chance there. It had the chance there to do this. It might need to trap more by the looks of it, but they are absorbing the top of this grey box. Maybe I'm being stingy and I should be buying under this, not waiting for the continuation. This is why I don't trade range, right? Because I look for the continuation and this is what happens. I take too many stops. ES looks great. Everything looks great. Other than the chips, which are starting to turn around, but they're not breaking a new 5-minute high yet, but it's coming. Passive selling here into 200 again. So if you did get long there and you're holding, you want to be careful. If you can't get the 200 break here, you want to be careful. We're very tight here, but here it comes. All right, do I have one more attempt at this? Do I have one more attempt at this? Yep. Okay, here's 200. There's passive selling up here. You need to get through all these passive guys at 200, and then you can think about this move to the top side towards 245, 250, and then new high of day through that. So I've had one more attempt here. I'm being very stingy now, much smaller size, because I've already eaten. We already know my tilt limits. Lots of break evens and tech issues, and I've had both here this morning. Here we go. Yeah, take my stop again. Don't take my stop again. Don't take my stop again. I'll be very patient. Still nicely green on the day. All right, move my stop up now. VPOC's moved. Come on. We've got to get through these guys at 200s, these passive sellers up here. If we don't lift it soon, I'll just take it off. I don't want to take another loss. There's a little sell side imbalance here at 85 now as well. They are stacking up these sellers. ES looks great. SPY looks great. Everything looks great. Just you chips lagging behind here. Come on. Come on, you fuck. Through 200, please. They are stacking these sellers. They keep refreshing up here. Can't get through it. Out. I'm going to be stingy there. But I don't trade range well. And I'm not seeing enough on the tape to get through. So, again, it's tiny, small trades. I will eat break-evens all day long. All right? I don't care. I'm not going to get caught in an environment which is my personal weakest environment. I know my stats are not as good here for trading range, and that is what we're in. Again, I'll remind you, if we zoom out, I'm trying to play a failed break of the range, right? Here is our current week range. Here is previous week's range. Here is a failed breakout of that range. Here's a trade to the upside, to the bottom side. I'm trying to bid here for this move back to the other side of range. That's what I'm trying to do. I am attempting to do that move, all right? It's my least favorite move. Anyone that knows me knows I fucking hate it, right? I hate trading range. I find it way too stressful because this is what happens. I eat stops because there's no momentum. But what I do know is if we can find acceptance back above here, which we're struggling to do at the moment, above the 80s, then we have thousands of sellers caught, right? Into what? Into the edge of range, the grey box where I've said, you know, we can probably hold this today. They have caught so much selling here. Look at all this red, all right? It's so much passive buying down here, absorbing. But what we're not seeing is follow through. So we're seeing some absorption, but we're not seeing an aggressive tape back above. We can call it 77s. I was calling it 80s. We're not seeing these guys up here to force price higher up right now. Well, that's not what we're seeing. We're just seeing it build out a lot of liquidity. And I am not going to become the liquidity today. All right, if they want to do some nasty moves, I will not become that liquidity. Because really, we should really, if we've caught sellers here, we should really be coming up to here. Because this is, again, the edge on an hourly where buyers are caught. And I would expect us to do this if we're going to do a range. All right. That's what my expectation is. If we can't look below, if this is a look below current week and previous day value, we should come up here, but we're just struggling. I'm not having another go at this. It can fuck off without me. It can go without me now. I've had what, two attempts, maybe 3 attempts. Here it goes. That 200 matters. I'm telling you, the psychological 200. Of course, you're now going SOXL. Everyone now wants to go. Now Alex is not in it. You're saying they need liquidity to go down, but you're ignoring the fact that it's the sellers who are currently stuck in this market. You're ignoring that this morning. It's the sellers that are stuck, which is why I was trying to go long. So 200 coming up. I'm obviously now not in this, but this is the move I tried to get 2 or 3 times. Here you go. Okay. I showed you where they were stuck. I told you what I wanted. Hopefully you've executed it better than I have. Right, so 200 break now, then you're looking for 230 and then the top side of this. So I'd say 245, you've got a little node here. So 250, all right, partials 200, 250, and then 285s. God damn it. Well, we had to go. We had to go. More selling coming in here aggressively and not getting what they want. I think this has potentially got more juice here. Seeing big transactions here at 200. And there's passive above, so I think they will lift into those passive players, probably up towards 230. Why not, Alex? I got the move. I mean, you guys are probably better traders than me at this setup. Yeah? I'm very good at trading when one side is very, very stuck and we're aggressive. I'm very good at trading that. I will make all my days like yesterday. I will be very aggressive, make all my money. Days like this frustrate the hell out of me because I position for it 2, 3, 4 times and then I get exhausted. And then here we go. But like big W's in chat if you got that. This is what I try and teach you because, you know, this is not my A+ setup, but it's a setup. So 230s coming up, more aggressive selling here. I think they're still going to get swiped up. 230s, 250s, and through 255s. That's the cool wall. So we're going to go box to box, which is what I was trying to position for. Like we said, sellers were caught down here. All right, and I was trying to wait for a break above 180. I was trying to be extra patient. Instead of buying these dips, I was trying to wait for confirmation for this move. We had 1, 2, maybe even 3 goes. I can't remember. But these are your TPs. And then up here, right? And if you get acceptance over this, we're coming right the way up here. More sellers are getting caught here at the moment. They're being very aggressive, not getting what they want. So if you hold 200 now, you're going to see 250. Try to help you. This is why I try and teach instead of just telling you, oh, here's my entry. Here it goes. Oh, God. Don't be salty, Alex. Don't be salty. Who cares? It's not like you've just left thousands of dollars on the table. And look at SOXL now playing ball. I mean, it just fucked around all morning and now it's playing ball. So it had to close the gap, SOXL. So it had to close the gap. It's coming right back towards VWAP. So here's your TP1 or TP2 here. And if you get through here, then you're looking for the 250s, the top side of this range. 255, 285, is it? 285. So 250s into this node here. And through 250s, 285. And that will be a 100-point banger without me. And all you guys trying to fade me again, well, like I said, if you're fading me, you're trying to fade the market because all I'm doing is reading what's happening in the market. And it was very, very clear to me that these guys were all getting stuck, all right? Which is why we needed to wait for a break above. And here it comes. And you look fantastic now. So box to box, Lewis Hamilton complete. And now you're looking for 85 for your runners. God damn it. Oh, why do this for a job? Honestly, why do this for a job? I haven't even lost. I'm up money. It's hella frustrating, man. Here we go. So 85 is your next TP into this grey box. You want to be paying yourself. Lewis Hamilton, box. And above 85, it's hammer time, right? All right. So SOXL coming to VWAP. So it's done the move we wanted. So look, this is the important thing over here. This is what we had to wait for. The gap had to get filled, which is the yellow line. There we go. The gap got filled. There's the compression. All right. And there's the move back to VWAP. There you go. And if he gets through here and chips go mega risk on, then we come up to Hive Day. But you want to be paying yourself in the market into here, right? Because we can fail here. We're probably midpoint of the range, if that's the range, or maybe the 61, probably 61. No, yeah, probably midpoint 61. So you pay yourself a good chunk, and then you just see now. Fuck my life. Thanks for the win. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Poolside. You are welcome. This is the market, eh? This is just proof. You can... Timing's everything. I think we talked about it yesterday. Timing is everything. Absolutely everything. You can see everything in the market and still be wrong. That's just the truth of it. I think we talked about that yesterday or the day before. Looks good. It looks good for you guys now. As long as you paid yourself, you can hold some runners. It feels when students get the move and teachers not. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, look, there are some of the best traders in the world miss moves all the time. It's very, very normal. Alex, what indicators do you use to see buyers or sellers? Well, any order flow tool. Any order flow tool. So footprint, bookmap, whatever you want. Any order flow tool. You could probably even use it on here. You can probably see them on here this morning. Didn't even look, but I would assume you're going to see heavy delta be absorbed down here. Okay, look at the size of these delta. Look at the size of these negative delta. Okay, do we move under that? No, we don't. All right, we never move under. Look at this. Very, very, very heavy. Bottom side heavy. Do we move under it? No, we move over it. We leave those sellers trapped. It's just basic market auction theory, right? So as long as you paid yourself a good chunk here, you're now looking for 85s. And if you get acceptance over 85s, you will probably start the start of a squeeze. We get very thick here. Again, I will advise you, keep zooming out. We can chop. All right. This was the thought process today was to chop inside. If we go back to the beginning of the day, inside current week's value. There's current week's value, which is inside a big node of previous week's value. All right. We were thin. We went over this right at the beginning of the show. Fact that we held this and we came inside, this starts to look like a look below and fail. So we probably chop in here, don't we? We went over this right at the beginning of the show, which means we're looking for longs from the edge back to here, and we pay ourselves. Now, if they go to the extreme, we can see we're thick here previous week, we're thick here current week, which is why we pay ourselves into the edge of this node right here, all right? Sort of 70s, 80s, which is where we're starting to find failures. If we find acceptance in this node, we will chop between these, which is what we did here, which is where we're thick and thick. So we've gone from edge to edge. If we find acceptance, we will chop here. If we don't find acceptance, we'll come back down, but we will keep chopping in this giant box, right? We've talked about it right at the beginning of the show. We all know Alex hates trading ranges. We all know that. He talks about it all the time. He tried today. He tried his very, very best today to try and trade the range. Notice how I wasn't looking for shorts down here. I was not looking for follow through. I was looking for a short from here to here and a long from here to here. I was trying my best, but I really hate it. A cuppa for me. Thanks for the analysis. I've learned so much the last few weeks. Thanks, Candlestick Cowboy. Very kind of you. All right, you're still building here. You still look great. So now you're holding the 24-hour VWAP. All right. VWAPs are starting to go sideways. We're still in a chop zone, all right, here to here, but you're starting to build liquidity for this move. And this move up here, all right, will be your New York Open and the gamma level. Here's your big gamma level, your cool wall 1. Okay, so we take profit in here. Remember, you are long. If you're really good, you're long from here, all right, current week value area low. If you're really good at trading range, you're long from here to here. If you're not as good, you're probably long for previous day value area high, hold, 180, hold, point of control, hold from here to here. And then you can wait and see if they get above this. All right, this is where they will try and go, these next levels. So I've missed it. Why am I not trading long now? I will tell you why. Because we're in a range, all right? And this can be resistance. This can be support, right? So when we're in a range, we have to trade the extremes. I am not looking for a continuation long up here. It's very, very possible I would get murdered. So it's why I've missed my entry, which is this and this. I will ignore long continuation here because we're in a range. Doesn't mean it doesn't go higher. It means from a risk factor, I will not get long in the edge of a big node in a range day. Yeah? We change how we work in a range day. We do not look for continuation trades in range days. Hopefully that makes sense. I did do a video on this a while ago and I was like, identify the type of market we're in. Are we an inside bar? Yeah. Are we inside previous week value? Yeah. Are we inside current week's value? Yeah. Are the VWAPs basically flat and flow zones flat? Yeah. What are we expecting? Range. So what do we not trade? Continuation setups. We do not trade continuation setups in range. You have to trade failure setups. Failure setups. Failure to break lower. This might be a failure to break higher. Yeah. How do I draw my grey area? It's probably the most asked questions of all time. They are just areas of volume. All right, so I start off on the higher time frames. All right, and I'm looking ideally for overlapping areas where we find edges. So this is our previous week value area. Now notice where my grey boxes are. High volume node, edge of high volume node. Okay, so in high volume nodes, what does that mean? I mean price acceptance, right? Because it's high volume because we're trading a lot of volume there. So buyers and sellers agree that that's fair value, right? In fact, it's the most fair value area of last week. They also agree that there's some fair value here. They also agreed that in here, we also have fair value, all right? So I don't mark out this whole zone because that would be huge, wouldn't it? 29,000 all the way up. That would be like 400 points. But what I mark out is the edge of this zone, which also matches the edge of the current week. So if we think about previous week, thick, thick, thin, thick. Current week, P shape. All right, so underneath this, where our grey box is, if we lose this, we can move down here very fast, which is what we did yesterday. Right? Why did we do that yesterday? Because they failed. Buyers tried to protect this level yesterday. They failed, and there's no support mechanism until we come back down to areas of value. We then bid back up from a thick node. Look how quick we go back up, straight back up. Again, there's nothing here to stop the market moving up or down. We're now back inside of it, and we will traverse this again. And inside here, we have point of control from current week, point of control from upper week. We're basically splitting this into mids, low, mid, high. Yeah. I do not want to try and be long here, do I? That is an awful long, because if I was a swing position, I would have to risk the low and the high. You want to be long here, trying to hold the long for the whole move up. You want to be short here, trying to hold the move for the whole move down. You don't want to be in new money position here, in my mind. That's how I view the market. Whether you agree with that or not is absolutely fine, but that's how I view the market. All right, so flag built out. I ignore that, even though it can go higher. I ignore that. The long entry was down here, and you're coming right into this 85. So this should be your next TP, and then above this, if you get a squeeze out above 85 and certainly above 300, you can look for a move all the way back up to 380s. All right. And I hope it goes for you guys who are long. It will make nothing will make me happier than you all making a shit ton of money. Willy Wonka, no. When I'm looking at current week and previous week levels, they are based on ETH, not RTH. When I'm looking at previous day levels, they're based on RTH. But I do look at the Globex session. So once the new Globex session finishes, I put an anchored volume profile on it, and I run that until the 9:30 open, just so I can see where we've traded. And you'll probably see there's lots of overlapping areas. Now, I won't always mark those out, or frequently I won't mark them out because they're thin in volume. Normally, they will match something that we've done the day before. But if there's an anomaly, like we poked up very high and left volume at high, I would mark that out. Dude said Willy Wonka. Yeah, because the guy is called Willy Wonka Bar. That's his username. Coffee for you. Come on, you gunners. Thanks, mate. That's very kind of you, buddy. Thanks, buddy. All right, so I will not be trading upside from here, even though it's got a chance to go. We've built out nodes here. If you're a buyer, you need 55s and 30s to hold, really. All right, if you were a buyer down here, you wouldn't want to see it slide. But like I said, we can fail up here. This is why I will not be a buyer here, because this is an edge point. All right, this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge, and this is an edge all the way up here. All right, so I don't want to be a new money long looking for that. I will ignore this. If all I make today is the pittance that I've made, I'm okay with it. It's not every day is your perfect environment. When can you play a reversal? Well, you'd need the opposite of what we saw down here. Right, so down here, we saw all these sellers get stuck. Up here, you're going to need one of two things. Lots of buyers get stuck, or we're going to have to leave an area. I can't really draw it. Leave this, start rejecting it, leave these buyers caught, and rotate down. But remember, if you're going to take the short now, right, if you're going to wait for it to reject underneath, and let's say it stays heavy at 50 and 40s, you're going to have to be covering some at 16s and 77s, right? Because your range now, it's just box to box. That's all you've got. So really what you'd want to see is buyers left up here. Look at the 85s rejected. You need to see this under here, and then you'd need to try and look for that. Very, very risky because you're running out of room. Look how tight this is. You have to ask yourself, is it worth the RR? Is that move worth the RR? I would argue not, which is why I don't like range. Maybe for some of you it is. I don't know. How do you get the bubbles on NinjaTrader? There's a video for free on my YouTube, mate. As long as if you're trading with, if you either have an account with them with cash in, or you're trading with a prop firm which gives you free order flow, you can add them on. What I am using is this is a new flow zone indicator called Spectra. It is almost ready. We're just in the process of getting it signed off with NinjaTrader. So you're starting to see it vacate 30s, 40s, 50s, all right, into this low volume node. Now, if you see a rejection here, there's an argument to take that trade. You want to be very careful because momentum is doing this. So you're fighting short-term momentum in an area where they can trap shorts. So for me, it's just a complete leave alone. Personally, it is. I will try and ignore price like this the best I can. You have major divergence. Because remember, if you're looking at short here, what's driving the market? Chips. What have we done today? Filled gap, recovered. What are they doing right now? Holding 5-minute flow zones, holding VWAP. What are we seeing on ES? Above VWAP, right? Into its node. Right at that call wall, 425. If it reclaims that and holds above it, call wall 1, then we can start extending up. I just think we are likely, all right, we talked about this last night. Where's, are we on the right one? I even said it last night. Here we go. For those playing overnight, highly probable we have a rotation day tomorrow and an inside bar testing edges to see who's defending. So be aware of that if trading overnight. Thin liquidity and large range equals fast moves. See you in the AM. This was the first thing I thought of today, right? The first thing I draw is always what I'm looking for. Look at that. Chop down to edge, chop back up, chop down, chop back up. That's what we're in right now, right? That is what we're in right now. Thanks for teaching you to hate range. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if you like mean that genuinely or enjoy it. Like lots of traders love range. I tell you what range is good for. And I don't mean this in a horrible fashion, right? Traders who are really good at range understand when people are trapped. Novice traders often like range, and I'll tell you why, because they fight trend, right? So they see this coming down. They haven't actually identified this as a support system, and they go buy, 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 and then they get relief and it lets them out, and they go, yes. And it drops down again, and they go buy, 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 and it lets them out, and they go, yes. And they go, it's up too high now, short, 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 and it drops down and it lets them out, yes. And they get 3 wins, but actually they haven't actually identified why it's doing any of that. They just like fighting trend. It's a very common thing. You'll see like new traders go, I love trading range. They couldn't tell you why, just that they let them out, right? Experts love trading range because they understand that sellers are caught in here. And if you're very good, you probably got long here. Look at this current week value area low. You probably let that happen. And you probably got long there, whereas I was waiting for confirmation because I hate it that much. And they're probably already short up here, and if they get the break, they make their money back down. I don't know, but see, this is starting to look very similar, isn't it? If we think about this micro pattern, this here is a micro pattern, but you can't get short unless they leave this. And then is the RR worth it? I would say no. For me, it's not worth it. That was me. I was working on trading scale down considerably in size. Why don't you look for shorting close to the upper edge? Well, when it's not actually the upper edge, it's only an edge of this node. Again, we went over it. Where's the true upper edge of range? Because this is the true bottom edge of range. If we zoom out, where's the true upper edge? If I go to a 15-minute. Where's the actual upper edge of range? It's not here, is it? Right, this is our midpoint. This is a thick level from previous week. But where's point of control? Is up here. The true upper edge right now is up here. Right, so think about this. This is definitely a lower edge for the last 2 weeks, which is a good area to bid off. This is a good chance of a higher low pullback. This isn't an upper edge. This is. And the problem with that is that would be the 3rd visit up there with a weak high, which needs repairing. There is a very good chance this market does this, because if you remember up here, do we have excess? We talked about this at the beginning. No. What happened up there? 800 lot seller. This was on Monday, and we only filled 200 lots of him, and then the market gave up. So I want to see, does this market want to repair this high? I would say probably it does want to repair the high. Probably wants to give a better excess, but we'll see. But this isn't a true edge right now. This is, this isn't, which is why I'm not shorting it. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. The unicorn train. Yeah, brother. Yeah, bruv. Nailed that unicorn train this morning, innit? Like this one here, innit? Like, sick trade, bruv, that unicorn trade. I was like, look at the rainbows, man. Reaper. We did it again. All right, they're trying to lift it. Do ICT concepts with a Trump voice. Turning into a comedian here. There's no more trading anymore. I just do impressions of people.
So good. Reaper is so good. The best strategy ever. They call it an inverse fair value gap. I don't call it that. They call it that. I call it the best, the #1 strategy in the world. Every influencer from Miami's doing it, so it must be good. And you know me, I'm from Miami, Florida.
All right, we're chopping around up here. Yeah, Austin, mate. Yeah, I leave Friday. I'm staying downtown. I'll shoot you a message. I'm staying downtown. I'm out for dinner with friends Friday night, and then some other friends Saturday morning, going to his house, which is in Southeast Austin, in one of those new developments, to catch up with him. And then I want to do one of the barbecue places Saturday afternoon. Am I self-taught? I've only been trading a few months, but wondering if you have any good reading suggestions. I mean, there's lots to read. I would say the best thing to do as much as you can for free on YouTube. There's tons on my channel. There's tons on other channels. Pick a type of strategy that you want to learn. Stick with that strategy. And then really the best things to read are psychology based. Honestly, I think reading stuff on technicals will be very hard, but reading any psychology book, all the usual suspects, the Mark Douglas's, Atomic Habits, stuff like that. Alex, with your NT indicator, can one replace Bookmap? Yeah, I guess so. It actually does come with an order book, so it will actually show you the order book as well as everything else. Slightly different in that you're not seeing tick for tick every order flow. So if we think about when you're looking at Bookmap, I can see every single aggressive participant on the tape and how they're moving. So slightly different. You could maybe replace it. I won't be replacing it. I say it all the time. I feel completely lost without Bookmap. Like I really, really, really do. Best Loser Wins, great book. Yeah, fantastic book. Like all the psychology books are good. How long have I been trading? Well, full time 7 years, but been trading a lot longer than that. I started in my 20s, but I was dithering around and didn't really know what I was doing. And then in my 30s, I made some good money and I started doing more swing stuff. Yes, red trading zone, of course. What do I think of deep charts? Again, I don't use deep charts. They look good. There's some guys in my room that use them. Look, guys, I am a old dog now. I don't want to learn any more tricks. I talked to someone about this on Instagram yesterday. You will get to a stage with your trading where you like your setup. I don't just mean like how you trade. You like your indicators, your setup, what you're looking at. You understand the plays that you want to trade. It's not to say you stop learning. You never stop learning. The market will constantly teach you. But you'll stop, changing software, adding this onto a chart, doing this on a chart, looking at this, watching this. Like, once you find consistency, you don't deviate away from it. You adapt to market conditions, sure. But you stop being like, I'm changing this EMA for this, and I'm changing this for this, and I'm using that. Like, no. Because all that does is pollute the mind with more and more stuff. Or if you think about what I am, all right, what I do, I trade momentum. All right, I try to trade momentum from good areas. Okay, so the momentum today to open up was in a sell down to this area, this pool, and then in here we identified that sellers were stuck. So we tried to get some of this momentum, right, from previous day value area high into current week value area low, so a cheap price on the week and a pivot on the previous day. We tried to grab some of this momentum upside. Now I failed to grab it, but that's what I tried to do, and that's my least favorite trade. If we think about what we did yesterday, all right, we traded a premium price failure, all right, because yesterday we had all these participants up here in this level that we're now inside of. We had all these guys trapped. So this is the first day where we had everyone trapped, and we looked for a look above 250 and fail, and then we traded downside towards value, right? And that was the momentum. All right, we leave buyers trapped, we trade downside to value. And I told you, I left you before I left for the day, and I said the 940 is where the squeeze will happen. Why did we say that? Again, because at 940 yesterday, there was, I can't remember how big it was. Do you guys remember? Was it 500 lot? Might have been 500 lot or 1,000 lot buyer. And the 940 break right here, break above, there goes resistance, 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 became support, and they held all dips, and there's your upside squeeze. And why did we squeeze so quickly? Well, because in here we were very thin. There you go, thin. Okay, so that's all I try and do. And I'm trying to trade what's in front of me based on momentum. So when we're in choppy days like this, we lack momentum, don't we? We lack momentum at the moment. If we think about where we are, we're inside previous week, right? We are above previous day. We're inside previous day's candle, right? That's previous day's candle. And we've gone from a sell to a buy, and VWAPs are flat. Now, there's an argument that this will try and get back up to the top side of this range, which is what I think we're trying to do. But the buy was down here. So I just try and stick to that. So I don't change. So I'm not changing to deep charts. I'm not going to try and this out or that out or anything like that. I'm an old dog. I don't want to learn any more tricks. I just want to do more of what I'm. This is it when you get half decent. Because I'm not the best trader out there. There are much better traders than me. There are some fantastic traders out there. But I'll tell you what they'll do. They won't do more things. They'll do more of what they're good at, less of what they're not good at. Right? That's your edge. More of what you're good at, less of what you're not good at. And you try and get a bit better at each thing. Like I'm trying to get better at trading range. The idea was right. I read it all right. Here's your 100-point trade, right? Remember, it was a breakout of 80s. There's your 100 points. And through here, they can squeeze up to this level now. All right, so it's working for you. I've got you guys paid. $100 lot here into the whole number of 300. And you should pop these stops here. And then you can probably trade into 340s and maybe even 380s, honestly, especially if SOXL wants to break out of its high of day. So it's right at previous day high now, and it needs to break out of its morning print and pre-market print. So we are still making lower highs if you zoom out of SOXL from pre-market. But if this is a giant bull flag and they start to break above 85s, you will see SOXL come to 190 today, and this thing will rip some faces. And you will get a 200-point move here, all right? If we are really going to do this 180 break, pay yourself here, up into here, that's your 200-point move. That's current week point of control and previous week value area high. That would be a rotation, wouldn't it? From here to here, all right? That's your rotation. And I hope it works for you guys. And I'm not bothered one bit that I'm not in it. It's fine. If someone handed you a Sierra setup with, I'm not moving off Ninja. I don't even know. I wouldn't be doing anything. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm very comfortable where I'm at. Why try other stuff? There's no reason. If it pushes above and then holds, well, it all depends if it's finished searching for the liquidity. I mean, remember, we can just chop around today, and this is a fairly big level for it to trade into. This is actually a low volume node from the current week up here, and you'd imagine there's some sellers hanging out here if they're going to be sellers at all today. All right, but like this is your move. You don't. I would not. We've not seen anything for a sell yet. We've not come under here and rejected, have we? The opposite to like here. We needed to come on over there and hold. Well, we just broke away. We haven't even broken away. So everything right now, we're back into slow drift market, and this is where they're trying to get this grey box, previous week value area high, current week point of control. And if they get through that, we can go for overnight highs. And if they get through that, it's going to be an all-time high breakout, because the high that we put in Monday is awful. All right, we don't have any excess. We talked about that right at the beginning of the show. I think I've talked about it a few times. And SOXL is coming for that 185, and you want to watch that. If it gets a 185 breakout, it's going to want 190, and the NQ will start rocketing. Again, I'm going to say it for the 100th time. I'm an old dog. I don't want to change, all right? I'm not changing. I'm not going to use anything else ever. It's going to take something huge to pull me off NinjaTrader, all right? This is my comfort zone. This is where I trade. Don't have to be like me, but I'm not moving. As I tell all these people who email me every day, can you make a video on this? We'll pay you. No, because it's inauthentic. I use NinjaTrader. I don't use deep charts. I don't use ATAS. I don't use any of this stuff. So I'm not going to make a video on it. Do you want the cup? Thank you. All right, big buy came in at 300 here. He got filled 3 times. All right, so he's 100 lot at 300. He's 108 lot at 302s, and he's 265 lot at 312. So he's come in and get filled a few times here. So you're watching 300s here to see if they're willing to hold that print. They can afford a drift right back down to 280s if they want. Again, this, we're starting to see the aggressive tape come back on. This is the big player at 300. We've left an imbalance. All don't move that down to 280s, right? This is the break. That's your 100 pointers. So they can afford to pull back into 280s to 250s and still look for strength to come right back up here into 380s and 410s. They can look for that move if they want. Daddy Alex loves his comfy recliner. Yeah, he does. He ain't changing for anyone. He's a stubborn English bastard. You should know that about me for now. He don't change. Am I still taking trades? I will see how we react if we come down into this grey box and want to really soak up price. But again, mate, for you guys that want signals, you don't need me to take a trade to give you signals like we've talked about. Teaching you as I go. What indicator is the volume node on the right? It's not an indicator. It's a drawing tool. It's a drawing tool. It's anchored volume profile. Will I watch Football World Cup? Yes, I'll be going to some of them as well, given that it's right in my city. All right, that's a great hold of 300. They just absorbed price there at 300. They are trying to get an extension here. 300 is your level right now that they are trying to absorb. Like they can come way, way deeper. They can afford a much deeper move here, but they are getting very, very, very aggressive up here, these players. And if they complete this move, remember previous week close is up at 330s. Here they go. They're going to go for it. They are going for it. They just want to shove this up and clean out all the liquidity. Here they go. So they just held 300 and they're going for previous week close here. 332s, and then above that, where's previous week value area high? 330s, and then 380s are on deck for your runners right now. 330s and 380s. And you see how we just came back into that player, that buyer. Look at all this selling, right? They tried to sell very, very aggressively. And what happened when they hit 300? Fuck all, we went upside. Here you go, 330s on deck. And you should keep lifting here now. Like I said, you can see it on the tape. So here's previous week close. This is a big level 330s. If you haven't paid yourself already, you want to pay yourself some. And then you're looking for 380s. And then honestly, if we get above 380s and we start to base, you're probably looking at new all-time highs. You're probably looking at new all-time highs. Do I have any videos on how to set up Ninja? Yeah, there's one for free on my YouTube, mate. How much is my course? $699 for the beginner to advanced course, $399 for the order flow course. Beginner to advanced course though comes with Discord for life and an indicator as well, a version of the flow zones. All right, SOXL still looking for that 185 break that we talked about, remember. So previous week close now tagged, that's your 30s. And you should clear this out. I would imagine they will try and really pump this up to 380s, especially if SOXL gets the 185 break and goes for its 190s. VIX now just getting absolutely clobbered under 18s now as well. So here you go, through the previous week close, very aggressive buyers here. I would be moving your stop up for those who are long. You're now up, what, like 150 points? Alex, do you provide these levels so we can draw ourselves in Discord? Yes, they're provided all the time, mate. They're even in the big weekly levels, or even in the newsletter, which goes out every Saturday. How do you chart your grey boxes? We've already done that. You're going to have to go and rewind the tape. Sorry, I have to answer that question 20 times a day. We've already gone over it today. I've already been kind enough to go over it today. I'm a scumbag, am I? Okay. You think I'm a scumbag? I'm not forcing you to do anything. Why is that a scumbag? 20 hours is a scumbag, is it? 20 hours course, Ninja Trade, Discord for life, swings which are up in Discord up to like 200%. People making their money in literally days with me, and I'm a scumbag. You've got the audacity to call me a scumbag. I'd like to see you come and say that to my face, bud. Yeah? I'm a scumbag. You're up 150 points. Wild. Will Spectre monthly fee? I'm talking to Ninja Trader over it. Probably monthly or just a one-time fee. We'll keep it affordable. I'm not letting people get to me. I just think it's amazing that I can be here each day and then you can have a random person come and talk to me like that. It's amazing. So we had death threats yesterday. We have this today. It's amazing. Come and say it to my face. I'll put a size 11 boot so far down your throat, mate, that you'll regret it. Oh, you think I give a fuck? I don't. I don't give a fuck about little keyboard warriors. Bring it. Bring it, mate. You must be confusing me with a 20-year-old kid in Miami who's scared. I ain't. Bring it, bud. All right, here's the lift. So 380, you're into the next grey box. 380 is where they're trying to get you to. Again, you're watching SOXL for the 185 break. They're still not there yet. They're getting close. They are getting close. This is your next TP zone, this grey box. Why? Because it is a big zone off the current week and the previous week. So we've gone box to box, box to box, and if we get acceptance above here, box to box. But this is a big TP zone up here. Chris Trades, thanks very much. Chris said, "You're my favorite scumbag. Thanks for everything you do." Thanks, mate. Very kind of you. What are the criteria I look for on swing trades? It's the same principles, right? It's the same principles as we have when we're day trading, but you're looking at higher time frames, and I like to look at baskets, right? So I like to look at big baskets. So I'm looking at healthcare. Is healthcare starting to catch a bid? Yes. When did we start identifying that? Last month. Why? Because it had been oversold, right? So if you're looking at your UNH and your OSCR, they've all found bids because they've been oversold. And we can look at energy as a basket. We can look at quantum as a basket. We can look at software as a basket. And I like to position in deep discounts on reclaims in baskets. In swing, how do I normally enter size? Well, it depends on my conviction of the trade. You purchase FC Pro Indicator. How do you get access? Well, log in to where you purchased it and it tells you what to do. It opens up as a course. Or Skylar, if you're struggling, just email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. But where you purchased it, it should have emailed you a login to the back end of my site, and it will have the indicator there for you, and it will just tell you what to do. Robbo, I'm up 3K thanks to this scumbag. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, mate. Mike, like I talked about, I'm not going to talk about stuff like, is ATAS good? I don't trade with them. I can't tell you. You tell me. You know, is cheese on toast good? Is this watch good? Is that good? I don't know. If I don't use it, I can't tell you. It's personal, isn't it? What you think's good, I might think shit. What I think's good, you might think is shit. Like, I have no idea, my friend. As long as it's reliable and works and you like using it, then it's good. Doesn't really matter beyond that. Beans on toasters. Hey, don't you leave my beans on toast out of it. Yeah, beans on toasters. The best. I don't care what you Americans say. Your beans here are awful. Heinz. It's got to be Heinz or nothing. Tony, you're going to buy a Swatch AP after this trading day. Oh my God. $400 of a monstrosity to wear around your neck or on your hip. Don't do it. Don't do it. You could buy a much better watch for $400 from like a micro brand. Don't pretend food in the UK is edible. Look, here's the thing. America thinks its food's the best in the world. It isn't. What food do you have which is the best in the world? It's all full of shit for starters. It makes you ill. But what food do you have in America which is the best in the world? I can't wait for one of you to say hamburgers, right? Hamburgers. Where are hamburgers from? Do you know where hamburgers are from? Oh, they're from Hamburg in Germany. So it's not yours. Fries. Do you know where their best fries are from? France. French fries. France. They're not yours. Someone put pizza. They're not yours. Italian. Oh, I'm driving you all mad today. A Costco hot dog. Oh, Texas barbecue. I'll let you have that. Texas barbecue. But the average food from the supermarket, guys, is dreadful. Right? There's a reason over 60% of it is not allowed to be sold in Europe. It's so bad. You guys pump your food here full of shite. It's not your fault, but they need to change it. The amount of corn syrup and sugar and stuff in everything here is crazy. I remember the first time I ate some bread here, I was just like, what the fuck is this? It is a shame. I hope they change it. I hope they change it. It's not to say like English food is the best, but it's certainly from a supermarket is cleaner. Is cleaner. Tacos are definitely not American. Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, I'll take a Sunday roast over a Thanksgiving dinner, which we have every Sunday in the UK. There you go. Trader Rick, real British food like pub food is much better. I mean, I'm with you, mate. I miss my Sunday roasts. I really miss my Sunday roasts. All right, we're still not breaking out of that 185, and we've gone box to box, and you've started to see failed follow through up here for the first time. That's a failure to make a new high, so they might need to pull back and reload before they have another attempt at it. But you've hit all the parameters today. You've done the damage. Again, like we always talk about, zoom out on the H1. Right, zoom out on the H1. You're coming into what? Into where we got stuck. This is where we got stuck overnight. Overnight, or is it yesterday? Yeah, it is overnight. All right, so we've pulled back away from it, found a bid, come back to it. There's the range. There's the range. Okay, if they find acceptance on your runners, you can get a break, but not beforehand. All right, there's the low volume node. There's where we got stuck. I'll try and focus on trading again. I'm sure some of you are like, I don't want to hear about beans on toast. What's the best roast in East London? Oh man, I haven't lived there for 6.5 years now, so I couldn't tell you. But I did used to like going to the Hoxton Hotel on a Sunday. Their roast is banging. The Owl and Pussycat off Brick Lane used to be good. Again, I haven't been there in a really long time. Really long time. Is my wife English? Yeah, she is. Hawksmoor, yeah. I mean, yeah, Hawksmoor's great. They do a bring your own, don't they? Is it on a Sunday or a Tuesday? They do bring your own drink, alcohol. Bobby Kennedy is fixing the terrible food in the US finally. He's trying. He's trying. I think what a lot of my feeling with politics everywhere in the world is, I think a lot of people go in with good intentions, but if they're not a politician, if they don't come from that background, they go in with these good intentions of like, you know, we're going to fix food and we're going to fix, I don't like the healthcare system or whatever, and then they get there and they're just surrounded by red tape, which makes it impossible for them to actually do it. And then you get people very frustrated, being like, well, you said you'd do this and you didn't. That's why if you look at most mandates, how many political mandates are actually delivered globally? I reckon it's under 10%. I reckon it's under 5% of what they say they're going to do and what they do. I reckon that's not specific to America. I reckon globally, I reckon it's horrific. Do I provide in your Discord exact entries and stops and exits of your day trading? Wonder if I buy the course, I get Discord for life. No, I teach you how to fish. Yeah. I teach you how to fish. You need to take my teachings and learn. There are lots of people in Discord who do all that together. I post entries often in the afternoon when I take them, but I'm not a signal service. If you want a signal service, go somewhere else. Honestly, that's fine. Like if half of you want to leave now because you want a signal service, go somewhere else. I've told you what I was looking for today, but signal services, they won't make you money, mate. Take care, Tyson. Catch you later, buddy. Hope you're doing good, mate. How much is Discord? again, it's free for anyone who does the course. It's just for members that do the course. It's so that everyone in there has a basic understanding together so that they can support each other. All right, you're seeing this 2-leg here and this shelf here. If they get back above this, they'll go for the squeeze. If they fail this, this is your typical 2-leg they're trying to hold to do this move, right? Because they failed to make a new high here. They came down, they protected this low. This is the transition point. So if they get back above 30s, your longs will pay more, I would say, and they'll come up for these 80s. And again, you need SOXL to break that 185. It's where it keeps getting stuck. It's still not there. It just pulled back and held. You get the 185 break on SOXL, you get 190s, this thing moons. So back above the 30s. Can SOXL get going here? Very sensitive area. Remember, this is also previous week close here. It's very, very sensitive. But you've held that 300 twice now. I am somewhat surprised they didn't want to trap down to 280s, given what we've seen here. All right, but you've seen absorption here into this 300 guy. Look at the big buyer here. Right, they've absorbed twice into 300. I'm surprised they haven't come under here into 80s, let the sellers pile in and then reclaim it. But maybe they don't need to. Again, this is what I would be watching right now. This here is important. They are trying, and you can see it's failed to make a new high. It's done the same thing. It's done the little 2-leg. They do this and they break 85. They're looking for this gamma level. And this will be a giant bull flag, all right, and then they can get that rip, and then NQ will really start going if they can do that. How many of you are still in the long from 180s? That's what I'm really interested in. How many of you are still long from 180s? Nice. Tick 1 trades. Official, I still love you. In from 160. Tollis, nice. Just runners. Yeah, runners is fine. Yeah, lots of you still in it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Really, really, really good. Now, starting a base here above this little node. This is a good sign. You really need the chips to get going. ES is looking for a new higher day break as well. So that will lift. If ES gets through the 38s, where's the gamma? I think you can get up to 44s. So you're looking good. It's just there's going to be a wiggle here if they can hold it. I would not want this, really. And you guys are runners, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, from 180. But you certainly don't want it to let go of these 40s and 50s. But they've done a lot of work here to absorb the tape. And you're seeing, look at the difference in momentum now. You're starting to see this grind. If New York VWAP gets above 24-hour VWAP, that will also be a good indication of buy pressure today. But sellers are stacking up here. 340, 345, 350, 355, 360. They're all on the tape here. Are there any big lots higher? 380s. I'm just going to zoom out. 400s. We've got a 50 lot at 400s. And we've got a 50 lot at 450. What was our high? 480s. See if that big guy's up at 480s. So 71 lot at 500. That's the biggest thing on the tape right now. It's a bit like the other day. Haven't cleared out fully. You wish you still had a runner? Oh, mate, I wish I had the 3rd or 4th attempt. I mean, it's just how it is. 50% booked at New York high, 25% at 300. Really nice, 25% left. That is fantastic work, mate. So anywhere from, you were long down here, 50% booked at the New York high, which is here. Fantastic. 50% booked at 300, 25%. So you basically, you've paid yourself 75% into like a 120 point move, and you're willing to hold 25% now looking for this move. It's great. That is exactly what I would have done Exactly what I tried to do. I think we had a go here, we had a go here. I can't remember if I had one more go, and then I was like, it's going to go without me, isn't it? Yep, bye. So, I'm such a scumbag. How do you use Bookmap? If you want to learn Bookmap, you need to do the order flow course, mate. But Bookmap is very order flow heavy. Did I take any positions? Yes, we took short here to here. I think I grabbed a bit of this. I'm almost struggling to remember. And I had a few attempts here trying to get this move. I probably, honestly, needed to wait for that. So there's me trying to trade range ineffectively. But green on the day. Not as green as I would like, but green on the day nonetheless. And again, I will take payout number 3 tonight on Lucid coming. So on that one account, which cost me, I don't know, under $100, or now I've paid myself $6,000 in the last 16 days or something, 17 days. And I will still be up another, after that, another $10,000 or whatever it is. We're gonna go for 6 payouts here, or 5 payouts, 2 more payouts, and then we see what they do. Some people say that they don't move you live now, they give you a bonus or something. We'll see. I don't care either way. We'll just rinse this account. And this is why, you know, prop firms are great. $100, I've already turned it into $6,000 cash in my hand as of tonight in, I don't know, 16, 17 days, and there's still going to be $10,000 left in that account. Tell me another industry where you can do that. Impossible. That's why prop firms are great. How long did it take you to pass this Lucid? To pass it? Oh, I can't remember. It was a while ago. Probably 2 or 3 days. How do you trade minis or micros for 50k? If you're trading 50k, trade micros. But trade micros. Can I show my TW indicator? What's TW? Sorry, I don't know what TW is. What lot size do you use on M&QX with a 50k account? If I was trading a 50k account, 2 to 3 micros is all you need right now. Okay, let's say you traded this better than me. Let's say that you took the 180s, yeah, and you took some off at the New York Open. Right, there's 100 points. Let's say you just took 2 micros. Right, there's $200. And then if you get up here, that'd be another $400. That would be $600 move from here to here with 2 micros, and you would have only needed to risk what? I don't know, $50, $40. Right? That's all you need to do in this market right now. I think it's much better to learn to hit TPs, all right, than do this. I'm 5 minis long and I blow up, or I make it like, too many people do that. All right, they're trying to trade these like tiny little moves when the market, look at the size of the moves the market is giving you each day. Remember, we were short for 250 fails. I mean, if you were willing to hold yesterday on the 250 fails, right, we took some TP here. There's 155 points, and then we traded into the next block. 900s was the target. is 315 points. And if you held a runner and you looked for previous week point of control, which we didn't get, but let's say you stopped out on the return back in, it's 413 points. That was available yesterday. That was a high probability move yesterday into 900. Even the upside from 940 break that we talked about. I talked about it at the end of stream numerous times. Right? There was a big squeeze up back to the other side. You do not need to be slinging minis in this market, especially on smaller account sizes. The range is big enough right now to pay you. Would I recommend going heavy at the beginning on funded when you get 2K DD until you make some bonnet? You recommend going heavy? No, don't go heavy at the beginning. Go heavy as you start to build out, as you start to earn that right. Alex, today was really hard, but somehow I made money. Thanks, Alex, for being here every day, even with the idiots. No worries. Like 99% of people here are great. It's just the odd keyboard warrior who wants to talk shite, which is hilarious. Any levels you need to hold right now? Yeah, I mean, if you've been long from here, right, then you want to hold this transition. If it's unwilling to do that, look at Soxel, can't break 185. It's coming back to VWAP. So buyers need to protect this. Now, if buyers can't protect this, this is your failure to make a new high. This is the 300 sweep. They need to get back above here. If they fail that, right, then we're going to go back into rotation again. And this is why the longs for me are down here, and I'm ignoring anything else really. Like if they're willing to build a flag out here, you could argue it's an RBS zone and they can hold this to go up. But the high probability move was from down here, not from here. Remember, we are in a giant pool of liquidity. Yeah. That's what we're in. That's what we're in. It's from the previous week. Right? We will build in here. They can build it bullishly. And that'll be your inverse shoulder line, right? And then the break will come above that. But we will build and build and build. Do not become the liquidity. This is why you take partials on inside bars, inside days. Alex, did you all buy Netflix at 85? I don't know if anyone else added. Not sure. Break and retest of orb. Yeah, well, your orb's here. It's your New York high. Again, I would say this SOXL's right at VWAP. It matters. If they fail SOXL, you're going to come down into here pretty quick. Remember, we haven't, well, this did wash this stop. So there's stops here, and that's it. This is your RBS zone. This is value area high for the day. If they lose that, they rotate this node. Remember, this is the rotation of the node. If they lose this node, back down to here again. If they hold this node, up to here is the attempt. Do I have TradingView discount codes? Yes, I think so. I don't know. I don't know if it's much of a discount though. It's probably not even worth it. But yeah, if you click on the link pinned to the page, there'll be one there. Is SOXL the new VIX? No. No. VIX is volatility. Well, the only reason we're watching SOXL is just because of what's gone on with the chips. It's just because of the divergence. It's the only reason we're watching it. When the divergence stops and the market gets back in sync, we won't even look at it. And $2 away from passing Lucid. Just take your time, Geordie. Do not force it. All right, it's a good hold down there of this RBS zone. Great hold towards here, which is what you want to see, bullish behavior. You need to see reclaims now. You need to see reclaims. If you start seeing failures to reclaim, I'd be very, very conscious about that for those of you who are long from down here. Wait for a TV sale. Yeah, I would. I would always wait for like they do amazing like Black Friday sales, end of year sales. They probably do a summer sale. I would wait. If you're going to upgrade, wait, because you will save yourself, I don't know, 70%, 80%. They do massive sales. RBS, resistance becomes support. Resistance becomes support. All right, SOXL finding a little bid off VWAP. I'm going to use the bathroom for the first time today. How are we doing on the likes here, folks? 1,200 of you have not smashed that like button. Let's get the likes up and we'll do a giveaway like we always do. All right, and I'll be right back. Oh, I see some of you in Discord asking what is excess? What does excess mean? Let's go over that quickly. It's a great hold for you guys. Hopefully we can push back up. All right, excess. Really what you're talking about is a group of participants trapped, and what that would look like on a normal chart would be a nice long wick. Okay, so if we go to an hourly chart here. Oh, bollocks, did not want to move that. All right. If we look at these highs, all right, look at these sets of equal highs up here. We've talked about this a few times today. All right, this is from Monday. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of just pinned in. What we don't have there is like this. Okay, this is what a good high would be. This long high and then move away from it, because in here what you would have, all right, is a huge buyer come in, be rejected to move down. We didn't have that. We almost had it, because here we talked about it, there was an 800 lot seller. All right, good excess would be like this and a reversal. Okay, so for example, what do we have at the low yesterday? All right, we have under here lots of sellers got caught, wick and reversal. All right, nice strong rejection. If we look at ES at the bottom, it looks awful. Right, ES at the bottom, if we move down to like a 5-minute chart, this yesterday was terrible. That is a lack of excess at the lows. All right, that is a poor low. What would have made this a good low would have been if it looked like this, with sellers caught. Right, remember, we're always looking for the end of an auction, sellers caught at the low. The end of the auction, a high, buyers caught at the high. Why? Because the price will stop moving higher when the last buyer is bought. The price will stop moving lower when the last seller has bought. All right, and we haven't really seen that, which is why I think there's a chance for us to repair this up here, because even on a lower time frame, look at all this flat top. All right, that is not a good high. All right, that is a very poor, inefficient high. We need a nice long wick up there. Think about why we moved off these lows today, right? Look at this long wick down here, right? Why did we move off these lows today? What happened in there? Sellers got caught. Yeah, sellers got caught in there trying to short the lows. They got absorbed. We move up, right? That is a very, very clean and obvious look. If we go down to lower time frame, in here, like we talked about, we bring Ninja Trader across. In here, look at all this selling at the lows. Big sellers, 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 big sellers. All right, all the big selling happened at these lows at 38s and under. Did we move lower? No. Fantastic excess. We move higher. All right, the last seller has try to force it down, won't happen. Too many buyers down there, absorb price, we move up. Right, we haven't seen that at the all-time highs, which is why I really don't like them, and there's a very good chance we reprice them. Doesn't have to be today. Okay, we have such big divergence here. ES is now breaking out, new high of day on ES, and SOXL is right in the midpoint of the range, stuck at VWAP, and we are not moving because of it, because the NQ is so reliant on the chips right now. So understanding the divergence, right, see how we're flip-flopping. NQ has held well, all right, it's trying to build some kind of bullish structure for the breakout. It is struggling because the chips cannot get going. All right, what do we talk about all morning? 185 break needs to happen, right? It's not happening. We pull back to VWAP. All right. If we look at the ES, new high day. All right. So why is NQ lagging? Because chips are lagging. All right. New high of day. Looks great, doesn't it? Nice RBS zone. Mr. ES being very clean here today. Your inverted head and shoulder at the low. Do. All right, and inverted head and shoulder at the high with an RBS, and where's it coming for? Here, here, here. Very clean. You just want chips to join the fun, and then you'll get the move on NQ. We've talked about it. There is huge divergence between these at the moment. That is why. Hopefully you understand why. What a scumbag. What a scumbag. Apex 90% sale. That's what you guys are saying. I haven't even seen it. That's great if it is. Happy days. Yeah, 90% sale. There you go. Using code FZT. That's awesome. FZT, 90% sale. Go and get them if you need them. So you got 90% sale on Apex. You got 40% sale on Lucid. You got 50% sale on Take Profit Trader. Using code FLOWZONE on Take Profit Trader will get you 50% sale, which is awesome. That's the best one right now, I would say, for the sales. Earlier when I went break even, why? Because I wasn't seeing follow through. All right, so when I was watching here, remember I was looking for the break and hold of 180. All right, and I wasn't seeing follow through. So every time we came up and I was positioning for this move, all right, what I was seeing is passive sellers walk this tape back down, and the buyers were hanging out at 20s. What I needed to see was these buyers walk up. What I didn't want to do is position at 80 and get a 60-point flush. Right, so once we failed to break, I moved up a few times, because what I don't want to get caught in is a 60-point flush down, all right, which could then break lower. All right, if they lost this, they could lose it all. So maybe I was a bit apprehensive, but again, I don't trade range well. I've always been honest with that. I've always said I'm really not the best range trader. I've never tried to claim that I'm really good at trading range. I'm really not great at trading range. I'm trying to get better, but it's not my strongest skill. Mind Matrix Flow Zone. Thank you for everything you do. You break things down better than anyone I've ever watched. I just want to say that we appreciate you. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you guys showing up as well. All right, we need 100 more likes for a giveaway. ES coming up to previous day high, so it's coming right into that level. And your chips still will not get going. MAG looks good. All right, Tesla 4.38% up. NVIDIA 2.5% up. Meta just over 0.5% up. Google 2.5% up. Amazon 0.71% up. Apple 1% up. The lagger is Microsoft, which is red on the day, 0.83% down. But your broader chip names are down, right? AMDs, etc., are down at the moment. USAR still looks really good for those in the swing. We're up another 2% today. So let's see if we can base and go here on that. MVTS bouncing back as well. And yeah, look at the breakout starting to come in some of those healthcare names that we talked about. Some of you guys on those swings should be up nicely. I would starting to get a bit concerned about what I'm seeing in the chips here. If they can't get back through 82 soon, you're going to struggle in the queues. Here they go. They're trying. All these sellers are stacked at 50s. SOXL needs to get back through 82s to help you here. Here they go. They're going. Mag starting to print. They're gonna have a good fucking go at this now to get up to 380s again. You're right at previous day high here on the ES. See, big level. Aren't there trap sellers above? No, not right now. The last seller was at 38. Trap sellers would be below you, not above. Yeah, below you. Trap sellers would be below you. Some prints up here to 59s and 60s they can come and fill if they want. I think 80s is what it wants. 80s and 410s. That's what it's trying to get up into this, fill this. That's a really good hold down there. One of you said they were going to buy the opening range high. There you go. And that's good confidence. Opening range high, initial balance high, RBS zone, gamma zone, and your New York Open. It's a good zone. How much is the buffer to get to Lucid payout? None. I don't think they do a buffer. I don't think you need a buffer with them. Same as funded next. You can withdraw into the buffer, I believe. You just need a positive P&L and 5 days of $150, I think, is the deal. Oh, on the pro accounts. Maybe on the pro. Sorry. I trade on the flex. So here you go. So filling those imbalances at 59. I think you're going to get the 80s here. SOXL back through the 82s, or it's trying to get through the 82s. These are your single prints from overnight. And if we lift here, we go 80s. And, you know, you want to be paying yourself. Once you get to 80s, that is a 200-point move from the scumbag for free. What a scumbag. Buffer's your friend. I mean, I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm up very, very nice on my Lucid Flex account. Here they go. They're trying to force it. They're refreshing here. Honestly, I think you're trying to lift 380s to 410s. But again, do not be buying here. Your buy was 200 points lower, basically, and you're moving your stop up and you're seeing if this holds. Really good. And if you get acceptance through this, then we're going to take out all-time highs, especially if SOXL starts breaking 85s. So good. This was the move that we were looking for today. It's really good for you guys. There you go. Here's the extension. So they're looking for 80s. They're looking to fill 80s. ES now starting to run the stops out as well. So the next level for ES to run into would be basically 50s. And we're looking for previous week value area high. You've got to pay yourself something into this level, all right? From 85 to 90, you want to be paying yourself a bit and then hold on for the all-time high break after that. All right, so you could look at like 50s, 35s as your current week value area high. Globex and previous day is at 4. So yeah, I would be watching basically 80, 85, 450, and then all-time high break. Really good. I mean, it's hard for me when I can see the move and we had a few attempts down here at it, but it's really good. There's the first lot of stops getting popped. So 450 next level on the ES. And you've got SOXL back through the 82s. Now, that you want to see them hold a higher low over 82s here and then break 85. So that's your previous week high tag. That red line here, previous week value area high. So why we say previous week value area high, previous week high, and current week point of control all in here, which is why we lock some profit in. That's why I said to you, got to lock something in into 85. Look at that first little reaction there. How do I stay disciplined after seeing 200-point move that you saw? I mean, I don't know, man. It's the knowledge that, you know, I'm up on the day. It's not a big deal. These are not my A+ trading environments. It's not like I saw it and didn't have a go. I saw it and I had a few goes. It didn't work out. I was also could feel tilt coming because NinjaTrader went down for a bit and I got stopped out, break even a few times in a row. I'm very, very aware as a trader's done it a long time. Those are all big tilt factors for me. So there's no point me forcing it. Right, this afternoon will provide another opportunity. Tomorrow will provide another opportunity. Our job is to be here for the next day. It's not to force it up. Like, did I see this? Yes. Did we call it? Yes. Did I execute well? No. All right, your bids now need to hold this pullback into the top of this range. If you start to lose that, remember we've come to one extreme of the range. This is your extreme for previous week. This is fair value for current week. This is why you're seeing a reaction. Was that reaction very specific? Yes, 85 is what I gave you. We traded through 85s and we hit previous week high 88. You're still bullish, but you should have locked in. I'm already in 2K profit. Yes. So. All right, ES trying to hold the pullback into previous week high as well. VIX starting to trade back through 18s and upside. And SOXL's at that 82s we just talked about. You do have some excess up there, over 80 now. I'm telling you. Not to say it's a short yet, but you have excess up there and you've hit your targets. We are still in a range. And we've just come to the top side of the range. Is Lucid push profitable traders like you soon to go? Like, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I don't know what the deal is. People are saying it's changed there now. I don't know how it works. I don't care either. Like if they don't move me live and they pay me out, I'm absolutely fine with that. So most of my money goes into swing accounts anyway. You want to see all-time highs? I mean, you're not that far away, but just remember you're in an inside bar still. Yeah, you're still in an inside bar. They could move this, they could chop this around for the rest of the day and build out a huge amount of liquidity and use it for a breakout later in the week. They don't have to go for the highs today. Make sure you're not being greedy. Sellers trying to come in here, trying to get that lower low. They're struggling, but they're trying. There's an imbalance here up to 75. So they're trying to protect that imbalance and force this little wash down to 45 at the moment. It's what the sellers are trying to do. And you've got someone on the tape here at 60s trying to absorb price. So there's a little battle here. ES just held previous week high. SOXL held the 82 pullback we just talked about. Worst data in the US and we're still going up. You mean the inflation prints? Yeah. I mean, this is the problem, right? It probably all ends in tears, but at the moment it is a very frothy risk-on environment. But we don't move up and down based on news narrative. We move up and down based on liquidity. The news narrative causes the liquidity. If that liquidity gets offside, this is what happens. Okay, so they're trying to get this break. We talked about these sellers trying to get us down to 45, which is where we're coming into here. And then you need the buyers to protect sort of 45 down to 30 for you lot. If you do not see that in this big node here, if you don't see buyers step up and protect this, you probably want to vacate the position because you've already hit the high probability. This is the low-hanging fruit, all right? This was the low-hanging fruit trade. We've had all the low-hanging fruit trades. We can find more above because these stops, like we talked about, they've not been run. We've got equal highs here. This hasn't been run. This hasn't been run out yet. This was the trade. TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4. You need this to hold here to go any higher. If they fail to hold this, you're going to see this move down. And you don't want to give loads back when you've made 200 points, do you? You don't want to give too much back. I'll keep reminding you, We are in a range. We are in a range. We have found some bid today for the trend up, but we've just come into the extreme of the range. The previous week value area high, the previous week high, and the current week point of control. This is an extreme of range. We do not expect price to get back above here on range. It very well might, but our expectation is not to go above here. So we lock in. So into these thick areas here. If you lose the bid here, they will come and revisit 55s and maybe even VWAP if they lose 55. SOXL back under 82. So chips are not getting going here, right? So you've come to from one extreme of range to the other. Remember, this is what we marked out this morning. All right, this is what we've done. If we fail this, we'll come to here. If we bid this, we'll try and come back up. If they lose this, we'll come all the way down. Range, 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 range. Yes, not trend, not trending market right now. Ranging market. Big ranging market, but ranging market nonetheless. What price is my previous week value area high? Whatever I said, 85 is it? 85, yes. And current week point of control is 91 and previous week high is 87s, right? So that was a big, big area of confluence there to take profit, wasn't it? How many times did I say you better be locking in towards 85s? Quite a lot. I think I said it quite a lot of times. All right, down you're coming here now. Right into this fat node. Now, if buyers fail to get back above 40s, then you can see chop kind of build out here. And SOXL back to its VWAP again. You know, this can really start to develop here and wash around quite a lot, I would say. So how you act at 40s, what SOXL does at VWAP probably matters. It probably matters now. Is this a pullback that holds or not? Buyers tried to get back up there, failed. Failed to get back above 40s. SOXL right at its VWAP. It's a very sensitive area here now, because if SXL holds this, it's a failure to break lower from buyers at VWAP, from sellers at VWAP, and they can print back up. 40s is going to be your level though. Here, this matters. This up here matters. Here's the print into 40. So this is where sellers will want to defend if they're going to force the flush back down. If they can't defend this, and there's a bid on SOXL, you'll probably see a bit of a spike back up. It's a battle. Big buyer came in there, hasn't moved price up yet. So what do we hit there? 37s. Buyers trying to come back in here to get the break. Still not broken the 40s though. SOXL still at VWAP, just sat at VWAP. No response, starting to see his first response. So it's a wiggle here on the tape. Sold back down into it again. You can see how sensitive this area is now. I'll zoom this in. There we go. Another bid off VWAP on SOXL. Back through previous week high on ES. ES looks great, like looks really good. It's NQ that's the lagger, which is funny because it's up the most on the day, but it's struggling. So I'm watching this right now. And it's just Double bottom here. Sellers failing to get the breakdown, buyers failing to get the breakout. We are just stuck. All right, failed the 40s. I'd be concerned now if you're a buyer, especially if SOXL lets go of VWAP. It's a very sensitive area, but if you're holding on to your buys, I'd be very, very concerned here that it's not breaking back above 40s. Because a flush can come here if they all vacate together, right? If they all exit and go, hey, we didn't break 40s, we're struggling to get back up, SOXL breaks VWAP, you'll get like a flush all in one go. Here we go, it's starting to move down now. So you can come back and check the 300s, which is where there were imbalances earlier, remember? So I'd just like be slightly concerned here now. You've got your first lower high. You're probably going to come back down right into these. There you go. So starting to see that wash take place. So I wouldn't be holding longs at this point personally because you've had 200-point move. The money's been made. Yeah, that's your first lower high. 300 matters now. Remember, that's where that big buyer came in earlier. That was how much has he got on the tape there? 309 lot delta at 310s, 209 lot at 309s, and 100 lot at 299. So under 300, buyers start to get a little bit caught who were aggressive earlier. Alex, you're the man. Thanks for showing up every day. This is part of my daily routine. My wife always asks, who's the guy with the accent you're watching? Am I looking for short? No, I like not specifically. I'm more just trying to help you guys manage your long positions, not be looking for too much. It's not that I'm looking to attack it. It's that I don't want you to hold on to something which is starting to struggle to break higher, which has hit some potential big areas at 85 and is starting to pull back off it. Remember, our target was 85. We hit 86.75. I was 2 points off, right? And we're starting to see lower high, lower low. And you're into an area where we can chop now. It's what we did earlier. But if they lose this, we can come right back down into VWAP. And again, SOXL is at VWAP. If you start to lose the 300s, I would get very, very, very concerned about a very big wash because that's where all the buy side is. Right, that's where they've stacked up over and over and over again. So we're trading back to 300 now. And if you lose that, you might see it get nasty. Lower time frame algo here. Here's the 300 check. This is the level. If they lose 300, you probably get a nasty wash here. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. That's why I would have been out of the longs already. Alex, you see all these orders around 1138 into a straight push into your 85 level. We've seen that a lot for like a reversal. 1138 here for the push into there. Yeah, well, exactly. This is, so if you think about this, this is the equivalent of good excess, isn't it? Right, because what happened here? This is a big shove up, which gets sold into. So what would that look like on a 5-minute chart, for example? If we go to a 5-minute chart, it's going to be a wick high. Yeah, so that's a good, very good example of a lower time frame move which probably reverses, especially, right? If we think about if you were a buyer here but you chased the high, if you were ill-disciplined and you chased the high, right, what happens here? Failure to break higher, lower high, lower low, break, lower high, lower low, break. Lower high, lower low, break. Lower high, lower low, break. Where are we coming into? Area of liquidity. What are we starting to lose? 300. Flush 300, back to VWAP, back to point of control. Right? So buyers chase, get punished. All right? Sellers chase, get punished. It's the same story. Yeah? This is why we play edges in range. Right? We play the edges in range. We don't diddle in the middle. You certainly don't take breakout highs in a market which is ranging. Data high was the target. Well, the 830 print. Well, 830. I mean, yeah, we had a flat top there. I think this was the target. Previous week value area high, and and a previous week high. That was the target. That's why we said 85s. We'll see now. I don't think shorts are good here. It's not that I don't think shorts are good here. It's that I'm not looking to trade right now. We still have bullish structure here. You're gonna need to see it vacate. Like, if the buyers vacate, remember 300 is where they keep bidding. Right? They have bid. Let me show you. This guy here, right? This guy here. This is where they keep bidding. This is where sellers got trapped this morning. Look, under 300, every dip got soaked. All right, so. Do we have excess? Yes. Have we come back in? Yes. Have we left buyers trapped? Some of them up here, but the main, if we think about this guy here, see this big blue line? This is this buyer. What's happened every time we've moved under him? Look at all this selling. Did we move lower? No. Selling. Did we move lower? Selling. Did we move lower? No. Selling. Did we move lower? So maybe it's a scalp back to 300, but if you leave 300, then you can think about a 50-point move down. But again, it's see money, take money, because if you are trying to get short here, what's the structure? It's bullish, isn't it? Look, this is your neckline. It's bullish into this neckline. They vacate that, different story. But we are in a range. It has to be like you have to be really trying to play extremes of ranges. So why I try and leave this shit alone. This is where it's very easy to get chopped up. Because if you're thinking about every 20 or 30 points has a participant stuck, that's all you can trade up or down to, yeah? That's all we have available. Remember, when we were here looking for long, the difference was, right, we didn't have all this structure created, so we could attack this. We've now created the structure. We've now created structure, all right? So we have to respect the structure, whereas when we were looking long here, all we had was light volume pre-market, so we can trade straight up. Now, we've created structure. We have to respect volume, right? Remember when we were down here, did we have volume here? No, not really. This was like very light. Now the amount of time we have spent somewhere creates volume, right? Think about a TPO chart, all right? We've spent time here. We've spent time here. We've spent time here. In between these, we move fast. In between these, I mean, there's not much room here. We move fast, right? Fast in between, long time there. Does that make sense? So the difference was, this was the structure this morning, very easy to get back to the extreme. To try and get down here now, we have to trade under this and through this, which wasn't there this morning. I don't like fighting, I don't like fighting a market, right? This is why I'm not too much of a fan of ranges in general, because you have to change that mentality. What's really hard with trading is, we talked about this yesterday, right? Who's been paid for the last 30 days? Dip buyers, yeah? Dip buyers have been paid for 30 days. Who got hurt yesterday? Dip buyers. They got so used to buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yesterday was sell the pop, sell the pop, sell the pop. They didn't. It's funny. I'm not going to name names, but I went through other big influencers' YouTubes last night to see where they went wrong. They didn't look at any of the stuck volume, right? They ignore everything, and they got so used to buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And then when there was momentum, they got hammered, right? We've changed that narrative. Yesterday was a sell the pop. Today is a sell and buy the extreme, right? If I draw this out for you, this is effectively what we've had. 3 weeks of this. This was built. Yesterday did this. Let's just pretend it came to here. And then this. And today, well, actually, we would need to do that. Today, we're in here. Right? So yesterday, all of this was buy dips. This was your range, Friday, Monday. Tuesday was a sell pop down to a level. Tuesday afternoon was a recovery because we're thin between these. And today is a range, right? So we would need to sell the high of the range and buy the low of the range. And if we break a range, that would be the all-time high. Then we can look for that pullback and hold, or a fail breakout and a move back into range, which would be the same as this. The environment changes. This is your higher time frame. You have to understand the environment. If you got used to buying dips and tried it here because you ignored the stuck volume, you got wrecked. If you ignored that we hit a big level and we recovered that 940 level, we recovered 940, and you tried to sell above it, you got wrecked because you ignored the thin volume. If you tried to buy the high today, you got wrecked. If you tried to sell the low today, you got wrecked because we went into a range. There's only three things a market does, right? It ranges, it trends up, it trends down. That's all it does. That is all the market does. So if you can identify, are we in one of these? Are we in one of these? Or are we in one of these? You can position yourself, but you have to change your trading. This is a buy the dip market. This is sell the high, buy the low market. This is sell the pot market. That is the most simple way I can put it. That is the most simple way I can explain how markets move. Now, this happens on every single time frame. And the most important time frame is the higher time frame. All right? And once you understand what the higher time frame is, you can try and understand what to do in the lower time frame. So today, in the higher time frame, we are in a range. All right? We're in a range on the higher time frame today. This is the last lesson I'm going to do before I leave. Right, so if we look at the hourly, remember this is previous week and previous day. We're looking at an hourly, but this is your previous week and current week. Okay, you can clearly identify a range here. Yeah, we can all clearly identify that this is a range here. Very, very, very clear. What we can identify yesterday is we sold away from this edge to an extreme of another range. We bid up extremely fast off that range. This is now a look below and fail, or you could just say it's a higher time frame, higher low, right? Because the main trend, that's a higher time frame, higher low. We're not in breakout because we're not up here. What we're in is back into a range. So what we want to do today is respect the range. We know overall we are probably going to do this, but the buying opportunity is at the edge of the range. Where's the edge of the range? It was here. It's where we tried to buy. That's the easiest move today. And it's not an easy move, but that's the easiest move today. The hard move right now is to sell the high of the range, right? It's to sell that. Why? Because the momentum is up in the range, and because they already sold it. This is another key thing. It's a key bit of info. They already sold it in Globex. Right, and we have a weak high here. This probably needs repairing. All right, this probably needs, even if we were going to move lower, it probably needs a candle like this. Right, it needs an excess up there. We don't have it. This is why I'm saying I am not comfortable getting short, knowing that this market probably wants to repair this right now. And the fact is SOXL failing? No, it's stuck. Everything's stuck. And I look at the mags. Are the mags failing? No. Tesla, 3.17% up. Nvidia, 2.71% up. Meta, 1.09% up. Google, 2.72% up. Amazon, 1.10% up. Apple, 0.72% up. Microsoft, 0.68% down. Okay, so mags are holding a print. SOXL is going sideways. If I'm trying to fade that, even though it's an edge of the range, is it highly probable? No, not really. Not really. So when we put all that together, what I have to ask myself is, when we just called this now of saying 300s is the key level, what's happened every time we've come under 300s? We've trapped, right? We've trapped sellers under 300s. I told you to exit at 85. I told you I'd be very conscious if they can't hold 40s or 50s down to the lower side of this. I'd be very worried if they exit 300s. They didn't exit 300s, but we're into this choppy part now. All I know is down here again, sellers got caught, right? This is the level, 300s. Sellers caught, sellers caught, sellers caught, sellers caught. I don't want to sell into an area where sellers caught. But it doesn't mean I want to buy the top side of the range. This, for me, is a prime example of the trade opportunity for me, for how I like to trade, was here today. That was the trade opportunity. It was a short here down to here, and it was a long here for this. For me, and how I like to trade, because I'm a stubborn old man, this is not a trade opportunity now. This Just because I don't want to be short doesn't mean I want to get long. Just because I don't want to be long doesn't mean I need to get short. This is a Alex, leave alone moment in this market. Don't force yourself in this market. Be happy with what the market gave you today. Come back tomorrow. Maybe we can look for that breakout or fail breakout of the high. Yeah, that's how I like to assess a market. Not everything is a trade. People want to be here and click buttons and click buttons and click buttons and click buttons. Oh, where is it? Long or short? Bull or bear bias? Did it? How about nothing? How about nothing? How about the hand we got is a 4-5? No. 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 I'm going to wait for Jack, Jack, Queen, Queen, King, King, Ace, Ace. Ace, Ace. I'm raising you. All right? Ace, Ace. Ace, Ace was yesterday. I'm raising you. Yesterday we banked big. All right? We're not going to bank big every single day. I'm a stubborn old man, yeah. I'm a stubborn old man. Okay. So if we look at Bookmap very, very quickly, before I leave you, what happened at these lows? Look at all these selling as we wash down into the 300s. Look at the horizontal lines. Could we sell under it? No. What do we have? Passive buying. Aggressive selling, passive buying, turn around. There's your pivot over 310. Buyers came back in. What do we have here? Selling, 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 selling. Absorption. 126 lots stuck into 35 pivot. 35 pivot is the top side of volume. If I quickly take you back to there. So they tried to sell down into the top side of volume. So they tried to sell underneath here, failed. They tried to sell into this, failed. And they're trying to lift now again. All right. So Bookmap is showing you that in real time. Sellers at the lows, under 300s or at 300 stuck. Sellers into this pivot here, right here, 126 lots. Sell, 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 absorption. They will try and complete this move now. They will try and they're adding liquidity higher. They will try and complete it. And guess what? SOXL's finally starting to get going. What a turd into lunch, finally starting to get going. That is it from me, folks. That is it. Some will say missed opportunity. I will just say risk adverse. I would say focused on high probability setups. Happy to sit out when I don't like it. All right, I've got to put these on because I can't read the screen. Let me just turn the aircon off and I'll come back and answer the last few questions. Let me answer the last few. Dulahathos, thank you very much for that gift. Very kind of you. We got 1,000 likes. Yeah, we'll do a giveaway. Don't worry. Let me just get through these questions, then we do it. Winter Nomad with the 5 gift membership. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to catch up on stuff here. Alex, am I looking to trade or hold any of the AI IPOs? I have positioned myself long in the ETF. So ARKX, I am already positioned long in. I started that last week. Again, I told everyone in Discord. The reason I've done that is because they are going to be positioned heavily into SpaceX. So I wanted some exposure to it. So yes, I'm not going to trade the individual names. I'm just positioned in the ETFs for it. All right. Scroll down here. And the first streamer you've seen that actually explains it. Yeah, well, that's why I'm a scumbag. That's what separates me from the others. To everyone new here, see if any of you have questions. Some of you are funny. A great lesson for me was that I trade differently to you, and that's okay. I'm still learning a lot about order flow side of things. Yeah, it's That's it. Tricky Huts. There is no single one way to trade, right? I trade my setups. Those of you who've been with me here a long time will know we talk about getting around a golf course. Golf is not a game of perfect. Great little book you can read. Getting around a golf course with an 8-iron, all right? My 8-iron was here. Right? That was my 8-iron. Should have been really good. I don't want to get a driver out up here and get, you know, start losing some balls. I don't want to do that. Right, so that's it. I'll come back to the course tomorrow and see if we get, you know, a nice setup again. But at the moment, all I'd say is that's the level. This low volume node is being controlled by buyers, and sellers are trying to sell through it and failing. And that's all that matters right now is that. And these are your next targets for anyone who still held from here. I mean, it's an incredible strength to hold that. I don't think I would have held it. I'll be honest with you. The moment I would have been 90% out, and the moment I saw that, I'd probably been like, I'm done with it. But it's a good hold. It is a good hold. SXL still can't break out of 85, so that's what's worrying me. Okay, next few questions. What are the large squares on Bookmap? Squares, do you mean the rectangles? They are passive orders. Those are guys adding liquidity. Those are limit buyers and limit sellers. Limit buyers below, limit sellers above. The big bubbles are aggressive players. All right, they are market participants. They are delta. Zucchini dice, discipline versus dopamine. That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What is your minimum stop when you trade? It looks like you have very tiny stops. Minimum stop. My stop is always based on swing point or price action or volume, right? So I was very tight here earlier because we were not holding this shelf, right? I wanted to see this shelf hold. Right, we failed this shelf once, twice, 3 times, and on the 4th time we held the shelf. Surprise, surprise. All right, so the stop was based on the node. All right, here, most bulls would have got stopped out on this node here, but it was passive buyers who trapped sellers here and moved price back up. All right, so why did they do that? Well, they let go of the node because passive buyers had their stop there. They became market sellers. Breakout sellers came in there. They became market sellers, and a big whale sat here and went gobble, gobble, gobble. Thanks very much for your liquidity. All right. It's very hard to position long there, but there we go. Menthol Q, call resistant, 0 T gamma wall, 9,400. Do you think it's difficult to pass? Well, I don't have that. I have it at 410, and it's not that big, so no. The big wall today was at 286. 285s were over it. The next biggest wall is up here, is 495 for 0 DTE. It's got space. I don't think it would be that hard. If they want to go, they'll go. You turned 38 today. How old am I? I'm 40. I'm approaching 41. Happy birthday, Tony. Happy birthday. I made $500, which is equivalent of a monthly salary for a middle-class family earning. Thank you. You're welcome, man. If that helps, that's all that matters, isn't it? How do you manage your funded accounts and your eval accounts at the same time? Do I copy trade them with the same size, or do you use high positions for your evals and increase risk? I'm quite aggressive with my evals. I wouldn't advise doing it, but I'm quite aggressive with my evals. I call it time decay. I don't want to waste time in my evals, and I size down when I'm funded until I build out a buffer. Guys, we're going to do a giveaway. Calm down. We'll do it when I get through the questions. Okay, let's just get through the trading questions first, and we'll do a giveaway after. What's more valuable to you, the chance of winning something or chance of learning something? Do I ever have red days? Yes, of course I do. They're not as common nowadays, but of course I do. If I wasn't careful today, it would have been today. I tell you now, today is the type of day that I would normally have a red day if I'm not disciplined. That's why I'm probably being a bit more careful, right? today. Two factors in that. Two factors. One, not my perfect kind of environment. Okay, actually three factors. One, not my perfect kind of environment, range trading. Two, tilt caused by Ninja going down when I wanted to trade. And then 3 break evens, I think it was. 3, the third factor, which people don't understand, is what happened yesterday. Killed it, right? We fucking murdered it. 300-400 points on stream. And I didn't even trade the afternoon because I was in a meeting. And if I traded the afternoon, I would have caught that 940 break back to the upside. Killed it. Okay, so you'd be like, well, why does that matter? Overconfidence, right? You have a big winning day. You come in the next day, you know, your ego, you're puffing your chest out. Show me the money attitude, yeah? Market will humble you real quick, all right? So if after I have a big winning day, I always have to put a little rain check on my head of like, mate, you're not a hero here. Just calm it down. One winning day doesn't make a career. Lots of slow winning days make a career. All right. What is liquidity? I don't really understand it. It is liquidity are players that are either already been on the book and stuck, or they can just be in position, or they're new participants. So if someone is adding liquidity, they are selling above price or buying below price. If someone is taking liquidity, then they are a market participant grabbing some of that volume and price, right? The easiest liquidity to look at are stuck participants and stops, right? Those are the easiest ones to find. Do I have kids? No, I don't. What program do I use for Gamma? Tanuki. I use Tanuki. Weekly volume profile levels, are they for RTH? No, they're ETH for weeklies. I do some programming, but most of my indicators I have to have someone else help me. But a few of them I've done myself, like the Trend Friend Pro I did myself. How the order flow can replace Bookmap? I mean, the delta plus total volume. It's different, man. It's not the same. You're looking at the same stuff, but Bookmap's giving you tick by tick, delta by delta. Order flow is slightly different. This is order flow. Bookmap is order flow, but it's a different way of visualizing it. So here comes the break. So they're looking for more here. ES just hit Globex high. I think you're going to get that break on SOXL. It's buggered around all morning, but you're approaching that 85. Remember, 85 break SOXL. I think you can then look for 190 on SOXL. So if it breaks 85, certainly if it breaks 86, 90, 87, then you look for 190s, and then this thing will lift then, all right? It's what we've talked about all day. They've just taken so much time to do it. It's actually wild how slow it's been to get up there. But it's starting to go now on the chips. And there goes ES breaking out. Really good. So there, whoever said the 400s, and I said I don't have that as level, we're straight through it. So 410s we just tagged, which is gamma level call 7. I really don't think it stops here. I think you get more. Your previous week value area high is 29,000 any week. Reason for the difference? Actually, mine is slightly higher than I've got it positioned. It's 29,000. Don't know, just how it reads it. But we're through it. We're through it. Here you go. Here's the squeeze. Guess what's causing it? What did we say? Guess what's causing it? Got to put it on here. It's finally got going. Here comes the 85. All right, so when we had weakness, we came into the VWAPs. They bid VWAP on the chips. There's your 85. That's the target. That's your call wall. So if they hold above here, this is a giant bull flag. If they hold above here and they start sweeping these stops at 86, 87s, they're going to go for the 90s and the NQ will go on a ripperama with it. All right, because that's where the strength's coming from. That's been the lagger. Here it goes. Okay, so you're into top kind of levels here, and I think you're very, very likely to get an all-time high breakout at this point. Is anyone still long from 180 break that we looked at this morning? What a great buy that was. Fuck me, 250 points now. The longer I look at this, the more I'm going to be very upset. Oh, some of you are still long. I'm so proud of you all. That's awesome. Nice work. Okay, so like I said, the all-time high needs repairing. That would be 485. This is the top block, so you could pay yourself a bit into it. This needs repairing. We don't have excess up here. All right, we do not have excess up here. Let me just check ES. ES has made a new all-time high. So we need to be aware of that. So can it hold its pullback into its old all-time high on ES? If ES holds pullback into all-time high, it's a really good sign for the Qs. But you're looking for this move up here to put new excess on. God damn it. All right. Let's set you guys up here. Man, that's it's tough to take. It's tough to take. The more I look at it, the more it hurts. The more I look at it, the more it hurts. All right, just type FZT once in chat. We'll give away an Apex account. I can't look, folks. I can't look. I can't look. I canny look. Where's my mouse gone? There it is. Jeez. Oh, so bitter. So bitter. Oh, at least I have some good news. Just have my TPT account from yesterday. I put in a request last night. It's just gone through. There we go. Another 4 in the bag. All-time highs incoming, I think, folks. Don't cry, Alex. It's okay. It's okay, little guy. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicole Jackson, 8342. Nicole Jackson, 8342. Let me know you're here in chat. You are the winner of today's Apex account. Let me know you're here, Nicole. Otherwise, we're going to re-roll it. 85 break coming up, SOXL. If this punches through 85 to 87 and breaks 87 to 90, you are going to absolutely rip faces here on the Qs today. They got all those shorts caught at the low of day. All of them caught. And we are going up, up, up and away here. All right, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to let me know you're here. There you are. You just popped up. Fantastic. Okay, Nicole, all you got to do, email me info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube, and I will sort you out with a free Apex account, any size you want at all. Okay, as a reminder before I go, all right, Funded Next currently have a big sale on their new Flex accounts. Okay, you can get, I think it's like 48% off right now using code FCT. Apex now have a 90% code back sale back on using code FZT. 40% off Lucid using code FZT right now. And if you want to trade with Take Profit Trader, prices will go up next week on resets. Now is the time to do it. You can use code FlowZone there, 50% off. That ends Sunday. All right, $100 resets regardless of the account size as well. So it's a good time to try and scale with TPT. After Sunday, prices go up. All right, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what they tell me. I will see you tomorrow. I will try and not cry myself to sleep tonight, having now missed this 260-point move. And I think all-time highs are coming. And remember, above all-time highs, you are in price discovery. All right, you are in price discovery above all-time highs. We have a weak high there. I think it needs repairing. You want to be locking profit into that, and then who knows? I guess we can think about projected moves for you guys. Jeez, man. We can think about projected moves now. All right, if we're going to do breakout longs this week, for the remainder of the week, I'd be looking for 29,850s basically, and 30,000 like we talked about in the newsletter. Let's just do one of the most recent pullback for this sort of cup and handle kind of look now that we've developed. Cup and handle. And we can look for 29, for any of you in case you're swing long, 29,600 and again 29,825. All right, so these are the levels we're going to really look at. 29,600, 29,825. You can see here they got a gamma level 29,700 if they went absolutely turbo. But I'd say end of the week, if we're going to see follow through tomorrow, I won't be here Friday, by the way. If we're going to see follow through tomorrow, and maybe for you guys on Friday, that's the target. All right, that's the target now. That is the target. All right. Peace and love, everyone. I'll remind you, use hard stops. You do have some newsprints coming over the next hour or two. So just be aware of those. You might get a little sort of volatility shake. And we will go again tomorrow morning. Those in Discord, I'm going to get some food, cry myself a river in the gym, and and then come back to you guys in Discord this afternoon. We'll see if we can get set up. The only things left to look at now are basically a failed breakout of the all-time high or a break and hold. All right, so your only things to think about now would be a failed break and a trade back in, or a break and hold. Yeah, a failed break or a break and hold. That's all you can really look for the rest of the day. I will see everyone in here tomorrow morning. Remember, get here early, 9:15, because we go over the pre-market analysis. It matters, all right, for you guys who are like bullish or bearish. Get there a little bit earlier. And peace and love, use hard stops, all that good stuff. I'll see you tomorrow morning.